kindness, passes some kindness, says, I'm taking out you first, and then you later, baby. Let's go. I'm gonna be surprised if we see execute try to, you know, take out this side of the map a little early on, but they're staying completely away. K19 and
still got one up. The DBS.
It's out. Oh my gosh.
Walking right into the DBS. The 1v2 right now, Hot Jukes.
Elf, it's your time.
No.
Can you do this? He gets another. One more. The DBS under. Where are your shots?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the PUBG Mobile Pro League North America Fall Split 2023 on Phase 3, Day 4. That's right. We got today and tomorrow, and then we head to the finals. But before we even get there, special shout out to Monster Energy, our official energy drink partner. And for everybody that's drinking that Monster Energy, and for the upcoming day and the next 2 days, let us know what you guys think is going to be happening here. Who's going to be the top 16 teams that are going to be going to the finals? Make sure you use that hashtag PMPLNA. Now, yeah, I can't be doing this by myself. I can do the callouts by myself, but to break it down, I need my analyst. So please welcome Cameron Davis. I feel like I'm at a show right now, Cameron. Like we need some kind of like gate, especially with that shirt, you know? Like a big entrance.
Huh? I mean, it's okay. It's a shirt.
Looks
yeah,
good. It's a compliment.
I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you like it. I didn't think it was anything that special, but shows I don't know anything about fashion, and because you're the fashion expert on here. But yeah, no. Listen, we're nearing the end of Phase 3. There's a lot of things on the line. Different teams are sort of fighting for different things at the end here, but like we're getting to the 11th hour, and everything matters. Every shot matters. Every elimination matters. Every single rotation matters. The excitement is only going to be ramping up.
It is going to be ramping up. So you know what? Let's just get it straight into it. Let's look at the overall for all the phases, Phase 1, Phase 2, and Phase 3, what we've done so far of it. And I mean, especially since Phase 2, it's been an absolute dominance just from Hyper.
Yeah.
It's going to continue on this week as well. You can see it right there with a big gap. Except now YKG, there's no way they're going to be able to catch up, right? But yesterday, we did see a little bit of flashes of YKG currently being able to maintain that second place, considering that there is going to be bonus points coming from where these teams end up on this leaderboard.
Yeah, so YKG looked really, really good yesterday. If we just ignore the first 2 days of this phase, they're back up at the top now. Are they going to overtake Hyper on the overall, the seasonal overall that we're looking at right now? Absolutely not. The math is just impossible. Even if they won every single game and got every single elimination, I don't even know if that would be enough, because that's how strong Hyper are, how consistently good Hyper have been, and everyone else below them have had at least one subpar week, which is why you see that huge gap behind them. But again, for so many of these teams, not only are there still a bunch of bonus points up for grabs, like you say, YKG, they're currently sitting in the middle of the pack now. If they just continue to have some good weekends, they can still get high on the higher range of those bonus points. I don't know if they're going to be able to contest Hyper on the top spot for even this week, but nonetheless, there's still a lot to be playing for. You just have to sort of ignore Hyper being so far at the top as they are right now.
Yeah, one team I'm going to be looking at is going to be fourth place with 412 Nomads. I felt like they started off hot this week, but yesterday we kind of saw some flashes of them going back to a little bit of just passiveness. I feel like hopefully today we'll start seeing a little bit more aggressive when it's given the chance for them to be aggressive and get those LMs. Yesterday, I think towards the end of one match, I can't remember the match myself at the moment, but it was a perfect time for get the chicken dinner. They took a little bit too long and they ended up getting the second place. LOTUS Esports 330 points. I'm gonna keep going down that list. MEZEXIS 294. PASSIONFRUIT Esports too. I think we saw some flashes too of PASSIONFRUIT here and there after a rough start on week 3. And now this is when we get to the juicy part, because yesterday there was a bit of a gap between 16th place and 17th place, K19 and the Butterfly Effect Esports. And the Butterfly Effect Esports, with the way that they were able to play, they were able to close that gap to 1 point.
Yeah, it's looking really, really good for Butterfly. K19 continued to struggle yesterday, and it is possible that K19 and Butterfly both have good days and both overtake Excuse. But with the gap that we're seeing between 15th and 16th place, that's not really something I'm going to be paying too much attention to, and until we see what happens after today, and maybe tomorrow we can reapproach that conversation. Right now, it really is just a fight between K19 and the butterfly effect. Outside of that, we're going to have to see some solid games before we consider anyone else in the fight to try and get into 16th place. Now, BULUC CHABTAN, it's possible for them. They've had some good moments in the past, but if you just look at the points gap between them and 16th place, 15th place, even for them, like, let's see them get a double-digit elimination win, then we can start talking about that.
Yeah, and I mean, it is possible, as you mentioned, if they were able to do it this phase in day 2, where they were able to get a chicken dinner, I think with something along the lines of 11 elims or 12 elims. So it is a possibility, but yesterday we didn't see any of that, at least not from BULUC CHABTAN. This is going to be the overall for this phase 3, because we're also going to be getting some bonus points in regards to how this leaderboard ends up being tomorrow. I mean, with what we were talking about and Hyper right now, there's no way in my mind that I think YKG is going to be able to catch him no matter how well they end up doing. And it's because I just don't expect Hyper to start throwing. And with the way they're currently performing, even though they are switching up the roster, it's still Hyper. We're still being able to see them perform, which is great to see.
Yeah.
And then if we keep going down the list, Execute is one team that I would actually like to kind of start seeing a better shape up out of this team. We saw some great stuff. I think it was day 2. We saw a great start yesterday with the chicken dinner and 9 elims, but then after that, it kind of fell off a bit with a 10th place finish, 8th place, and then 15th.
Yeah, there were a couple of teams on that first half even that are sort of middle of the road, and then they'll have spikes of greatness. Execute and Extreme Slayers are actually the two that look the most at that. Here on the bottom half, on the second half, though, it's sort of a different story. Again, though, Butterfly Effect, like I said, they had a really good day yesterday. YKG, they started yesterday at the bottom of the pack, or at least close enough, and they've surged up to 70 points. So these are the two teams that I want to continue to see climb up there.
Yeah, and one of the teams that actually I'm going to be looking at for them to climb up on this leaderboard is going to be Puppeteers. Puppeteers hasn't really shown us much since phase 1, phase 2. It was a drop-off. We thought it was going to be just a one-week thing. This week, they're starting to do the exact same thing. So Puppeteers, hopefully today, they're going to come out with what YKG was able to do yesterday, improve on their day. I'm not going to say that they're going to be getting the same amounts of elims that YKG was able to do, or do what YKG was able to do, right? But I am hoping that they do have a change in what they've been doing, because they just haven't really been able to do much. And in 18th place for that team, that's just not working now. No, I did hint it at YKG, and I kind of want to take a look at their player stats from yesterday, because I want to see if it was just one player that was popping off, or if it was the whole team that was popping off, because we always talk about Joey, and as we can see right here, oh wow, it's 24K, your favorite person in this team.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, like, look at these numbers. Go back and compare to what the numbers that they had on day 1 and 2 of this week. They are night and day. It was a total 180 of approach and just form that they showed us yesterday. And even though that very first game that they played, that I don't think they got a win in it, but they still had a huge number of eliminations. Yeah, 5 eliminations in 5th place. That's still a really, really good game. Got them back into the mix. Joey was leading the charge on that in terms of numbers. He set the spark, and it was my boy 24K that continued to let that fire burn the rest of the day. I am telling you, this man is the heart and soul, the core of this team. If he is fragging out, the team is doing good. And I mean, just the numbers, they speak for themselves. I'm expecting to see more of this come today.
Yeah, the numbers definitely don't lie, and I love that Chico was able to put up numbers too fierce, considering that for a bit there, it was starting to become a big question mark, right? It's maybe sitting off a week was kind of hindering them in a way that we didn't expect. They had the day off. They came in yesterday. They absolutely destroyed. Joey seemed happy when I was getting a chance to talk to him. I'm hoping that that kind of trickles down and continues on, and we actually start seeing some chicken dinners here today, because yesterday, you know what, with the placement, the elims, yeah, that's all fun, but this is a team that definitely relies on those chicken dinners, because once they get on a top 3 situation, boy, they can frag out, and they can frag out in a big, big way. And a team that was able to frag out yesterday, the Butterfly Effect, that was a big surprise. Nobody was expecting it, especially me. So let's take a look at how they were able to perform when we compare it to K19, which is the team that they were looking to catch up. And you can see right there, just blow them out of the water pretty much.
Yeah, every single time we were watching it, Seven, you and I watching this, like when the games were happening, we're always talking to each other about, oh, okay, wait, a couple of elims, Butterfly. Oh, K19 are out early once again. Like every single round it happened, Butterfly Effect would just constantly get a leg up. They always outpaced K19 in points. Sometimes it was only 1 or 2. Sometimes it was 10 because of the big elimination rounds that Butterfly Effect would have yesterday. And just 25k damage compared to 2, 26 elims compared to 8. And I just want to give a special shout out to the to Cloudy from the Butterfly Effect. Him specifically was the one that was like the golden boy for this team, so much so that he was actually up there with, I believe it was 24k and GK first in the MVP race for the games yesterday. Like, this is a team that we never really gave much consideration to. Cloudy was never a player that we gave that much consideration to, but backs against the wall, they are delivering. I just hope that this Cinderella run will continue through the rest of this weekend, because if yesterday was just a one-day spike and then they fall right back down to their more means, I mean, we're all human, right? But it would be disappointing.
So, you know what? If we do end up having time, I would like to see their player stats for the Butterfly Effect from yesterday, because I feel like we are going to be seeing a big discrepancy there. We are giving Cloudy his flowers, but then it kind of leads to a big question mark for this team, right? What happens if coming into today, Cloudy doesn't end up performing? Because not only did he have the most elims, he also had the most survival time. And everybody else, I think he was at 20 minutes and 37 seconds, something along there. And I think some of the other players were at 18, 15th. Nobody was anywhere close to him. So if Cloudy's for some reason not able to perform today, that could lead to Butterfly Effect, you know, just creating a bigger gap with K19. And I mean, like, in a bad way. That's just... Yeah.
They've
We've seen it happen
behind,
before, right?
Not continuing to close that gap. But I can tell you right now, just looking at the numbers, you shouldn't have to worry too much. Cloudy is ahead in eliminations, but he's actually not the leader of the team in damage. It's actually Jason with more damage dealt than Cloudy, who's also not even that far behind in eliminations. And the numbers for Kubi and D aren't even that bad either. So, like, ultimately, it is a team effort. Yeah, for yesterday. Oh, actually, no, I'm looking at the weekend.
Oh, no. I'm talking about yesterday, because that was the powerful performances. If he doesn't perform like how we did yesterday.
You checked me properly.
Yes. It's pretty much about yesterday. But you know what? Let's look at the schedule, because yesterday I ended up getting Miramar wrong. And I'm not getting Miramar wrong again, because it's second to last. I'll try to remember that. We are going to be starting off with Erangel. Group E is going to be sitting out, which is going to be YKG, Lotus Esports, Excuse, K19 Esports. And I feel like this grouping has actually helped YKG and some of the other teams as well, whether they are able to carry momentum, right, by playing all the matches straight, if you're like in Group E or in Group A. But then if you're like one of those teams towards the middle where they might need a break when things aren't going their way, one of them I'm thinking of is 412 Nomads. They at least have that halfway point break.
Yeah, but like, honestly, Dan Hyper, they're not a team that ever would need a break. So I think for them, they're happy that they can get it all done with and then be out the door on their way to a restaurant or whatever, just to celebrate the good day that we all know is going to happen, because it always happens. They just never seem to have a bad day. Who knows? Maybe me saying that will show a little bit of weakness in them as the games watched today, but I wouldn't put money on it.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to try to curse any teams. I think I got my fair share of that in the past, and I'm just trying to stay away from it. I'm kind of like Sute right now. Just don't think about it. Him with Execute, just don't think about it. It ain't going to happen. But luckily for Sute yesterday, he was able to finally break that curse with Execute. Now, you guys are probably wondering, what are these teams fighting for? How much money is on the line? So let's take a look at the price pool just to refresh your memory to see what these teams are going to be taking home at the end of the day. And now keep in mind, we are currently in league stage, so every team is guaranteed 2.5K, which is nice. Now, once we get to the finals, I'll talk about those, because the prize pool is looking nice there. But I'm actually looking towards the individual season rewards, like the MVP. Yeah. There's clearly a candidate in mind before this phase, but I feel like now, after this phase, is a toss-up between two players, and they are currently in the same team, Cam.
Yeah, I don't know why you're trying to beat around the bush. We all know it's Kindness and GK first. They're the only names that are on anyone's lips for the MVP race, day by day, week by week. I do still think Kindness is currently in the lead, but if GK first continues to be pulling ahead on this week itself, it might actually be very, very close. But I agree with you. Those individual season rewards they can be a good thing for a lot of teams to be trying to go for, a lot of players to be trying to go for. Same thing with the team rewards as well. So again, just a reminder, they're not only playing for the money of getting into the finals next weekend and get the prize pool there, but also there are continuous things to play for this weekend still.
Yeah, I mean, once they get to the finals, then the top 5 teams are going to be moving to Americas, and so on and so forth. And there's some teams that are looking great in Hyper. I'm looking at you. You're looking great for Americas, and feel like there's some other teams that definitely need to sharpen certain things here and there. And while we do have some time here before the next match goes on, is there any team you want to talk about? Because I actually want to talk about YKG a little bit more. I feel like we did end up seeing a little bit of that phase 1 greatness out of this team. but I want to continue to see that today. And I want to continue to see that today every single match, not just a one-match thing, and then they kind of just turn off. I want to see it every single match, and I want them to start shaping up themselves to be ready for those finals, because the finals is only going to be 3 days. They're not going to have that much time. They're not going to have any time off.
Yeah, listen, I can give you a number of names, actually, as we go into the first match of the day right now. We have the return of YKG. Then let's see if this form stays, if that's also not just a flash in the pan, right? But I'm also looking at Wall Street Bets. They're starting to be a lot more dominant of a team, a lot more powerful of a team. Lotus as well, even seen some good flashes of SLR. So even though it's all going to be about NHyper, when you look at the scoreboards, it's NHyper dominating everything. The worries that I had earlier this week of this is just an NHyper league, the league of NHyper, we're starting to see more teams actually rise to the occasion. And I'm not going to say that they're going to challenge NHyper in the finals. They're still going to be the favorites to win this entire thing next weekend. I'm hoping that these teams will continue to grow and put up a better fight than perhaps we might have expected, only focusing on earlier games this week.
Yeah, and I feel like one of those teams, I kind of have to call them out here, Extreme Slayers. They were such a surprise phase 1, then phase 2 they became steady, and now they're becoming steady. They are still able to perform well, but I feel like this team just doesn't have what it takes. Even if NHyper did stumble a little bit in one day, right? I feel like Extreme Slayers wouldn't have what it takes to actually pass them. And if they do end up passing them in the leaderboard once we get to the finals, I don't think the team can actually hold that spot. And it's because they're just still relying too much on Remix.
Yeah, and Remix aside, it's also just a lack of, there's no X factor there. There's nothing that really, transitions them from just a good team, and they are a good team, to being a great team. You got to see those moments of, down to the on the line, down to the wire, whatever phrase you want to use. They need to win an impossible situation, and we haven't really seen that happen for them just yet. We saw that from Wall Street Bets yesterday. I think it was up against NHyper at the end of Aaron Girl up on the Northern Coast. Moments like that, we don't really see that often from Extreme Slayers. They're good in the middle. They're good at churning things out. But where is that moment of doing the impossible?
Yeah, now I feel like I was getting a little bit ahead of myself there, talking about Extreme Slayers and going to the finals. I want to see what some of the other teams that are fighting to even get to the finals are going to be doing, right? Excuse, they're going to be sitting out. K19, they're going to be sitting out this first match. I'm going to be looking at the Butterfly Effect. Start off hot today. Get those LMs that you were able to get, and not just rely on Cloudy, because if Cloudy has a bad day, I feel like it's going to be a little bit of doom for this team. But nonetheless, I am here and the match is ready. So you know what? Let me introduce you the casters, Hot Jukes and Sute. What do you guys think is going to be winning today, this first match? I'm going to put you on the spot, Hot Jukes. Who's winning?
NHyper. Why not? Why not? They've been winning everything. They've been winning everything. Why not give it to them? What do you think, Zoo? What's up, everybody? How y'all doing today?
I'd say took the words right out of my mouth. I mean, if anyone has to just take a shot in the dark, who's gonna win the match? Best guess, NHyper. Why not?
Laced it. Well, let's see if they're going to start off strong once again. I mean, YKG just light years away from catching up to them. And I just think we're going to continue to see that insane dominance from this squad. But you know what? At the end of the day, Zoo, that my eyes are obviously on that bottom of the leaderboards, right? Which teams are going to make it into top 16? I can't believe HH24 and K19 are on the chopping block here.
Oh, yeah. It's looking rough for the K19 team. We had a brief talk about it yesterday. HH, Tensa, Sixless, all really great players. Legends in their name, right? But you take a break from the game and you come back, fall off. You fall off.
Dang. You know what? It is what it is. It happens. But you know what? There ain't nothing like a good old comeback story. You know what I'm saying? The only place you can go is up. So I want to see some of these teams do it. I want to see some of these players do it as we're looking at a nice central playing path right here. Right down the middle. Nothing too shabby. Nothing too crazy so far. And we got Puppeteers up in Severny. Looks like Passionfruit, of course. Heading over there towards Yasnaya. And are we going to have a Rozhawk hot drop situation? It doesn't look like it. It looks like Wall Street Bets are all on their own.
Yep. Looking like everyone's going to... Oh, that changes things. 50-50.
Yes, sir.
You like to see that. I like this one a little bit more than typical 50-50s because I think there's more on the main island than usual. Because usually when it's a military base first circle, everyone's like kind of pretty sure it's going to be over on military base. So I'm keen to see what NHyper does here because I remember back in the days, they do a 2-2 split, right? They keep 2 on the main island and they send 2 onto military island, especially in circles like this. I wonder if they changed up the strategy any since, you know, they've changed a lot of things up. So that's one thing I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what NHyper does here.
Yes, sir, indeed. I got to talk to some of the players. One of the players I got to talk to was Quinn, right? Good old Quinn with Canadian Eagles. You know, unfortunately, he said he wasn't able to play yesterday. Said that he actually was trying to do a name change, trying to go back to the good old Steve-O. And he got the good old slap on the hand saying not allowed. So unable to play yesterday, but he is back here today, putting in some work. So I want to see the Canadian Eagles. As we can look, we can see him right there. Look at little Quinn, looting up, getting ready to go.
Yeah. Why do you think he wanted to go back to Steve-O?
You know what? Because you know what? Steve-O was no joke. Right? When he was under the name Steve, I mean, it's the same person, right? But when he was under the name Steve-O, right? He was popping off. So maybe he was like, you know what? I want to go back to the good old tried and true and just, you know, flex a little bit. So it's interesting. It's interesting to think about.
I see.
Especially here in the late game, you know?
The name buff.
It isn't. It does happen.
Yeah.
It does happen.
It is a thing indeed. As we are.
What do you think? What do you think Long's name buff would be?
Long's name? Like if you were to change his name, like what would be the buff of super long?
Yeah.
I couldn't think of anything there, Jukes. You got me.
Yeah, maybe extra long. One of the other XL. That'd be nice. That'd be sick. But hey, you know what? We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We start seeing some rotations from one team in particular, and that's 4-1-2.
Bridge camp.
Bridge camp coming out big time. Yep, and this was Speedfire.
Oh, wait.
But it looks like they're
Is that
actually
a
in a
bridge camp?
battle with Ace.
It looked like 412 was chasing down Speedfire. Speedfire was just trying to get across the bridge, and they got chased down by 412. Yeah, I don't know what happened. It's very hard to knock a player out of the car that's driving away from you like to military base. So maybe they were bridge camping, but that bridge camp got shut down so quickly. You can see their 2 cars is just like in the middle of the road. So maybe they got shot out of their vehicles as they were trying to drive off.
Oh.
I don't know.
The situation, yeah.
I don't know. 412 is looking really good though.
100%. As a matter of fact, I got to talk to a little bit. I told him, hey man, I think so far about your performance. And he was just like, look, we play better, right? There are a lot of mistakes. We better fix them. So, you know, you like to hear that. You like to hear that, you know? That's the thing, is that here at the PMPL, it is the place to fix mistakes, right?
Yep.
You don't want to be stuck in
Yeah, so NHyper getting caught on a bridge camp right now. And it looks like they were trying to go super fast on the rotation. They get caught out by Butterfly Effect. Butterfly Effect, of all teams, they stepped up yesterday, and now they're taking one down from NHyper. Maybe this Butterfly Effect has something to prove now after that huge game they had yesterday. Or not a huge game, but just a huge performance in general. And I was really curious to see what NHyper would do. Usually, they don't get caught in bridge camps because they rotate much faster, or they just take the water side, especially with them dropping in that farm split. So I think NHyper, this is good for NHyper though, making these mistakes now rather than the finals. Honestly, I'd like to see them make mistakes so then there's something for them to improve on versus them just playing flawless the entire time and not knowing what they could improve on potentially. So getting punished for a slower rotation there, losing a member on that bridge cross.
Yeah, I hate to see that.
Yeah.
That's what happens in certain situations. You know, you're trying to make that bridge cross. You think you're going to be all right, and boom, you just get laser beamed out. That's why you want to see those leapfrogs, right? You want to see one player just covering each other, moving bit by bit. You kind of have an advantage now, especially with like those little scaffoldings right next to the bridge. Makes things a little bit easier, but you know, if you're not careful, boom, you can just get straight beamed in those situations. But listen, we got a little bit of a battle here in Milta. This is between Extreme Slayers and BOPE. Remix got that nade locked and loaded, trying to open things up here. Robert, really up close and personal. One nade will definitely do it. But he's completely actually sandwiched between two different members. I think he really has to push this.
Robert, he could wait for backup. I don't think the rest of his team has vehicles, though. They're all on foot, so Robert's going to try and pressure this. They already got the revive, however. Robert puts himself in a 1v2 situation, catches one. He's fast with it, gets traded, but at least he got one knock.
Remix
The rest of his team is there, though.
Perfect in time, right? I mean, he is able to get to safety. It looks like Remix has to go do some supportive fire. That nade looks real good from Remix. He's going to throw another, too. Right now, he's just trying to buy some more time for the rest of his squad to get there. That does piece them up a little bit. And now Baby Bray is here. They do lose one of their players, though. So Remix going to go ahead and get a nice knock. Going to get that first aid off. Unfortunately, not able to get the save on Robert. What a nade, though, from Baby Bray. That would hurt.
That was almost a 1-for-2 special. Got both of them down to 1 HP.
2-piece.
Yeah, 3 versus 2 right now. BOPE looking to maybe get that revive, and I think it's just all down to Nightcrocs. Yeah, the other player got knocked. Nightcrocs in a 1v3 situation. Extreme Slayer's not going to go down too easily, and yep, Baby Bray getting him from the side. They did lose Robert. Robert did catch that nade when he was knocked already, so it was a thirst confirmed point for the other side, but 3 players up, 4 points. Usually not a bad situation, but this is Erangel heading into military base. So that 3 players is going to be a little bit more difficult to play through the rest of the game with a bridge cross in question.
Yeah, and that's bridge cross. Yep, it's going to happen, baby, because this zone going straight onto military base. I wonder, yeah, if you see MEZEXIS, they're going to look to get a boat and do a nice little boat tate. Execute, Skills of Mine, going to have to cross that bridge. SLR is going to be on the camp side of it. Man, I'll tell you what, this SLR team, always so solid on their rotations, right? They really get there quickly, and they do a great job of doing it. And we actually got to see a nice little sign of life from them yesterday, so I want to see that aggression here today.
Yeah, they flipped on the aggression yesterday, and in one match in particular, and ended up winning that match. And, Butterfly Flex still camping this bridge. They got one earlier onto N Hyper. Let's see if they could get more. And, Kubi, you gotta be a little bit careful. His head is like sticking out. Wait, is his head not sticking out? Turn to the side like that? Maybe not. Okay, yeah, Frady definitely would have hit the shots. It looked scary. It definitely looked scary from our perspective when he just started looking the other way with Frady just honed in on him.
He's gonna get spotted though. Yeah, he's lucky that wasn't his head. He was really lucky that wasn't his head. So Kubi gonna get shot in the back here in a second. Yeah, so that angle just completely gone away. As we do see some players go down to the play zone here. That's gonna be Everest from MEZEXIS. And the rest are Extreme Slayers. I mean, Kubi is so pushed out. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to take him out here. Oh, actually, never mind. Yep, Canadian Eagle's coming right behind him. That is the biggest threat. You can see Quinn driving by and getting away, not going for the tires. Remix, that is crazy to see.
I'm surprised none of Canadian Eagles stopped to deal with that one player.
That's a good point.
Yeah. I mean, rotations are important. If they stop to deal with that one player, hey, PASSIONFRUIT might be right on their tail, which I'm looking at the minimap. PASSIONFRUIT is looking to come down here as well, so they just did not want anything to do with the bridge and just drove right through. So if it works, it works.
But, I mean, that's... here we go. Jason with a drive up. Getting really close. Both players down. Wow, Jason.
Yeah.
With a B-zone. Turning it up right there. That was insane.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to the other player. Maybe he ran out of ammo because he got Jason down to 1 HP and he was like still full, but he backed off. So he definitely had to hit that reload, and that was enough for Jason to get the knock. Now Butterfly Effect starting to fall apart a little bit here. We're down to 3. And from the backside,
that hurts.
Slayers.
That's the most frustrating thing as a player, honestly. Like when you have like a decent angle and you're like, all right, I got a nade locked and loaded. I'm about to just. Oh, they're about to get it, and then boom, you just get ear hold. That hurts.
Man, this bridge camp has been messy. Canadian Eagles drove right through, and the Extreme Slayers team with only 3, by the way, Jukes. They lost one early. We saw that in the fight with Milton. Somehow, Extreme Slayers with only 3 make it across that bridge with all 3 up and fought and picked up some points along the way.
Crazy. Crazy to watch. I mean, honestly, like some of these rotations have just been insane. You're right. I mean, earlier with Canadian Eagles, it made no sense to just full send it across that bridge, right? Usually you want to see players just checkpoint, right? Just send a couple players up and then have the other ones cover each other and just kind of work up little by little. But who knows? I mean, here at this stage, we got folks just full sending it on over. Wall Street Bets are still in the blue zone. I think you see Jachi there. I don't know if he had any first dates. I think he's looking for some. And he does get one off here, but they are so late here to this next circle. Now, fortunately for them, they don't have a lot. I mean, Extreme Slayers, I think, is still going to bridge camp here, which is going to make things very interesting. But here they go. They're going to start sending it down that bridge now. Is that bridge camp? How are they going to approach it? Should they do? Are they going to? They should still checkpoint. They shouldn't send it that far.
I don't know about checkpointing in the blue zone, because I mean, if you checkpoint and there's enemies here,
Perfect.
you're just bleeding in the blue still, regardless.
Cordy's gonna Cordy's gonna try to take it a little bit quicker than later. And Cordy in 3, 2, oh, Remix waiting. Got one. Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
Well played. Toes.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Blue zone. I think blue zone got that tick off. Yeah, so that's the problem with checkpointing. Like, checkpointing works when you're not in the blue zone, because when you're in the blue zone, you're sitting there and you're cooking in the blue, and the enemy's not gonna. A good team's not gonna like give up a free fight when they know they have the advantage. They're gonna let you cook in the blue and wait it out, and which is exactly what Extreme Slayers did. With only 3 players, they managed to pick up more and more points.
Yeah, it's one of those situations that's tough because I mean, even if you do send it, you just get popped out of your vehicles, you know. So I guess the only solution is to get there earlier. You know, that's really the definitely one. But in those situations, I don't know. I think a lot of players try to rely on their vehicles too much. I'd rather see them go out, and it actually feels better, right, as a player, to at least go out shooting rather than just getting beamed out of a vehicle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's rough. But the zone, by the way, does keep some of the main island in zone, which is why we do see Execute here, along with Puppeteers fighting for this little speck of land. And PASSIONFRUIT swam across earlier, so you can see Trick here trying to take hit shots. I think, he got 1 or 2 shots in. Scopes in again. I think he did get behind the tree. They still got to deal with Puppeteers here. They need to be careful.
No way he had fired that, right?
Hey, Trick is built different, Jukes.
He is built different. That's insane. Honestly. I guess, you know, Trick maybe going for that highlight moment for that extra $500. We saw it earlier, right? That's on the line because most eliminations, most damage. Good luck. You ain't getting that. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to the highlight moment, it's still available. So Trick, try to make some plays here, showing why he is the fragger. He's not paid to think. He's paid to frag. His words, not mine, folks.
Yeah. Yeah. Puppeteers looking like they're going to just swim across. I like what Execute's doing here. Trick is just staying up there, applying the pressure still. Meanwhile, the rest of his team should get a move on, start crossing over this bridge. SLR is still here, trying to camp this out. I mean, this is a great position because the mountains, or not the mountains, that hillside right there is in the next zone. So they just need to establish control here, and they have a firm position inside the next circle. So no need to move now. Try and see if they could get another player of MEZEXIS out as long. Got that many. A lot of shots in.
Split though,
Baton though. Oh, so good. This guy's accuracy, mechanics. Just every time camera's on him, he's doing something.
Not risky using that jumping animation. That's why he's not jumping over. And Stellar gets taken out. I mean, this is what I think. I mean, this is where SLR suffer, right? This is where I guess they're that baby and hyper you kind of talked about earlier.
Yeah.
You know, they just, rotation-wise, decisions, so good, but just their splits, you know, fight, game sense overall is just, that's where it just needs a little bit more fine-tuning. And I guarantee you, once they, like that, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Just getting caught, making simple mistakes, and then that's what's costing them so much. I mean, that's 2 players down when they had a huge advantage. I mean, they didn't even have to take that fight at all. They could have just gone and head over to the zone, and they could have been chilling. But that was the smart play, though, right? Easy, take out those points, get those eliminations at the same time. you know, just simple mistakes cost them big time.
Yeah, with the blue zone closing in and MEZEXIS is not pushing up anymore, that's a clear sign that they should back off a little bit and let the blue zone do the work and push more of MEZEXIS in. Instead, they held up really close next to MEZEXIS and allowed for some of those mistakes to happen. So definitely some oversights there from the SLR team, but
Olivia,
hey,
you learn?
they're learning. They're learning. I remember NHyper used to make mistakes
Yo,
all the time.
Long just took out Execute. So, I mean, we're seeing plays, that's for sure. Meanwhile, Remix, oh, kindness. NHyper was the prediction. And wah, 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 gone. But you know what? I think they're, no, I think they're crying. I think that game really hurt them.
That's probably the worst game we've seen from NHyper in, honestly, the entire tournament, maybe.
I think they're chilling.
That was, yeah. So, I mean, so one thing does stand out right there from NHyper. When they have a game plan and it doesn't go well, like it gets cracked early, they fall apart. So, yeah, they wanted to rotate across the bridge a little bit too late.
Pow.
It didn't seem like they knew what to do afterwards. So I think NHyper is definitely one of those teams that heavily relies on a solid game plan at the beginning of the match. And they're so good at it because they have so much experience. But in this case, it didn't work, and so they went out extremely early with only 2 points. Next circle pops up. Some of the military base, the compounds are in zone. BULUC CHABTAN, that is one team that really needs those points, Jukes. They're sitting in 16th place right now overall out of the 20 teams for this phase. So let's see if they could get some more points.
Let's see it. This is that big sloping hillside here, so this is going to be fun to watch. Yeah, you think Canadian Eagles are going to want to take this fight earlier rather than later. Let's see how they're able to handle it as, oh, almost going for the run over. Yeah, XTZ going to get taken out right there. Beautifully done for Canadian Eagles to secure this side. So now what they really should be focusing on is up. They should be focusing on teams about to push in rather than inwards. They are going to take this compound right here, but this is not the best one to hold, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think they're going to use that as an anchor point.
Yeah.
They're not going to keep all three in the compound. They're definitely using it as an anchor point and do a split, put some players on top of that hill.
It's a bad one,
though. They
though.
just sit in that compound, definitely.
Yeah. It's a tough compound in general because there's sight lines from everywhere. There's like every single, almost 360, except for that hill behind them. Unless, well, there's a team there, then, yeah, I mean, especially from this side of the hill, they're going to have full witness onto them. So that's something they have to watch out for. Meanwhile, Zuko getting taken out by the blue zone. That hurts. 4-1-2 still on the edge. Good for them. Drago doing some jumps, trying to get some little extra sight lines. Not able to see anything. And Bob is on the move as well. So let's see how this is going to all finish out, folks. Blue zone is going to take out PASSIONFRUIT. That's going to be Wall Street Bets out. And we are in a top 7 situation. This is why I hate this compound, is that there's so much. You can literally get attacked from every single angle. Now you have Ace of Spades on the other side of the hill. And I want to see how Canadian Eagles decide to take it. As a matter of fact, I think this spot was even just a little bit better. So heads up for Ace to take it. And now Canadian Eagles are going to have to make do here. Let's see how they do it. That's going to be a big, big point. Meanwhile, 4-1-2. 2 players up. Not even worrying a little bit. I mean, I'll tell you what. This 4-1-2 squad has been putting in the work constantly. So when it comes to 4-1-2, really proud of their development. I told Alim that in person. I was like, man, dude, you guys have improved so much, and he was just really, very thankful. And it's good to see how these guys finish out here. Meanwhile, look at Kiddo with the lean peaks. Leaning hardcore. BULUC CHABTAN! Okay, BULUC CHABTAN is in the apartments. That's huge. That is huge because this is one of those teams that needs to make it into top 16. K19 aren't even playing in this game. So this is their chance to really stand up strong and put some big points on the board, especially if the zone decides to go to them. Where's it going to go? Let's see. Let's see. Come on. Oh, okay. So off the compound. BULUC CHABTAN could definitely make it up this hill, It's going to be a little bit difficult, though. The only team they really have to worry about in this situation is going to be Extreme Slayers. Trying to get to that scaffolding is not going to be easy. But if they go to that broken wall right up front to them, they should be able to find a nice little path line up the hill. So, but I would definitely be looking to take off sooner rather than later. Meanwhile, you know, the prediction game that we got going on. The question is, which team is going to win the match? And, ooh, this is a tough one. This is going to be a real tough one. If I had to go ahead and be a betting man, BULUC, CHABTAN have all 4 up. They do have that rotation to go on, and Extreme Slayers are fragging out of their minds. So, even though that they're out of this zone right now, I'm going to make the bold bet that it's going to be Extreme Slayers. And if it wasn't that, I would put my money on Juancho. Oh, as he goes down. Juancho's a legend. I'll tell you that right now, guys. All right? He's surviving. He's putting the ball in there. Let's see if PASSIONFRUIT gets some more points on the board. That's what we're looking for. Meanwhile, ace of spades. Oh, triggered some nice shots onto Jason. Not able to get that confirmation. That's going to hurt. As we're going to watch ILYP throw out some smokes, most likely. Cloudy getting taken out. We heard about him at the top of the show. Dude, Cloudy had an amazing day yesterday.
Yeah.
And he does go down. But, I mean, man, what do you think about this so far, Zoo?
I mean, it's all up to Jason now for Butterfly Effects. They were looking really strong yesterday. Cloudy was stepping up, like you mentioned. Jason, great player as well, but as a solo behind that rock, we'll see if he gets that zone blast. And Canadian Eagles, they're still holding it down at this compound, so they do a good job at holding this area. They put enough pressure all around them to make sure team can't get a firm foothold underneath them and then push them in. Now they could worry about the inside of the circle. Ace of spades, down to 3, trying to use the smokes to stay alive. Canadian Eagles, they're looking for an opening. Baby Tang on the off angle, trying to get on that hillside. See if he could spot anything out using the car as an extra. Okay.
What was he looking for, huh?
I didn't know they added mines into the game, Jukes. It looked like he drove over a mine right there.
Sure did, and Baby Tank looking for intel, getting busted. He has to get this knock on the kiddo. Bob wasn't able to do so, so he's going to definitely go down. But at the meantime, you do have Extreme Slayers controlling this hillside very, very strongly. So this is a really good position for them. The only team they have to really worry about is BULUC, CHABTAN on the other side. But so far, they have not really been a insane threat. Oh, yeah. No, they're definitely shooting this direction. So Baby Bray forcing to hit that lay down, throw out some smokes. Try to get that coverage going. This is what I was talking about. That compound, I think, is punishing Canadian Eagles here. I think the spot, if they would have taken the spot where Ace of Spades is, I think they would be in a much, much better position.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough spot for the Canadian Eagles to be in now. And Extreme Slayers, man, they're doing so much work as 3 players. They lost one in Milta early, and I said as 3, not looking too good. It being a military circle, and they still got to cross a bridge. Well, they crossed the bridge with 3. And they have like 12+ eliminations, looking to get more, and there's a decent chance they could win this match. All they need to do is be able to control that hilltop, and they're in the best position in the game because the zone did shift away from the military base buildings. So now BULUC, CHABTAN has to move in. Jason's still alive behind that rock, Jukes.
Wow, Jason just big chilling, ready to go soak up some points like crazy. Now here comes Extreme Slayers. Remix with 6 eliminations already by himself. This man is starting to pop off. Meanwhile, Baby Bray's got the MG3. Uh-oh. Oh, that nade was almost disastrous there for Extreme Slayers. So you know that they're going to go ahead and spread their wings after that one. Drago is just stuck in the smoke, hugging a tree, just praying that he's able to get an extra placement point for his team. But it's not looking likely because here comes Extreme Slayers.
Oh, they don't know he's in here.
There's no way they don't see him.
They see you see him now.
What?
You see him now.
Oh my goodness! And he got thirsted. That has to hurt. That has to hurt
BULUC.
big time.
That's such a good play from BULUC. Timing it perfectly. And now
Nice shots.
Extreme Slayers are on the back foot hugely. Tries to turn around, get that knock, does not go through. And BULUC, just like that, are in the game-winning position. The tables have turned right on top of Extreme Slayers, looking so strong one moment, and then in the next, immediately taken apart.
My first instinct was to pick BULUC, CHABTAN, you know, but I was thinking, you know what, trying to get up this hill is going to be tough if Extreme Slayers is just looking in the direction. But
Yeah.
they timed it, like you mentioned, perfectly. Came up. Now they're just starting to put in some work little by little. You got to
Hold
worry about
on.
Remix, though.
Yeah,
Remix
Remix.
is alive.
One of
He gets one.
One of BULUC was already knocked, so that's 2 down. And I think Remix might know this. There's that
Uh-oh.
3rd player. Oh, that's good damage.
And he has that little hill dip. That little dip's perfect. He's going to throw a nade to it, I think, in this area. Does he
Remix.
throw it? Oh, Remix has
Yeah.
no first aids. He has nothing. Oh, it was a Molotov. It was a Molly, and now he's in a
Wait.
1v2 situation. He's gaming. Couldn't do
Wait a
it.
second. Oh, I thought he was going to take down at least one of BULUC. The other player in BULUC was looking like he was going to go down to the play zone. Now it's just 2 solos. There could have been a chance for one of the 2 solos to third party everything. Jason is just chilling.
This is honestly scary. This is scary, considering where their position is in the zone.
That's true. BULUC could lose.
They're
this.
basically a duo at this point.
Mhm.
Like, with how checkpointed they are against each other, like, this is actually really dangerous. Alim threw that out. I don't think the players actually saw it get thrown.
That's a decoy smoke.
No, that was a decoy smoke. Actually, that was a imagine if that was a perfect, like, decoy smoke onto Jason.
It
You know
kind
what
of
I'm saying?
is. They got all of BULUC
He's like,
looking
he's
that
over
way.
here. He's
Yeah.
over here, dude.
No,
Yeah,
that's
worry about him over
exactly-
there.
Yeah, see, look, they're all looking over there at the smoke
Yeah.
now. Jason's
That is
like,
sick.
I hate you.
What
Liam.
the heck?
Why you gotta do me like that?
That's messed up. Wow, beautiful, beautifully done right there. That was actually like
Yeah,
Alim
that's
realizing
where the
that there's a
nades are
player
going
there.
now.
Yeah, unbelievable. Because they don't realize if this is a duo or 2 solos.
They
you know?
probably think it's a duo. Of
They
some
probably think
sorts.
it's a duo, and seeing a smoke over there, they're like, "Hey, all eyes on deck over here."
Mhm. This is gonna go into zone 9.
Oh, that's right. It is going to go
Yeah.
into zone 9. So this is going to go down to nothing. The circle is going to completely close.
Oh, this is terrible because the center of the zone is right in the sight lines of both Jason and Alim, and I think BULUC
Exactly.
has to kind of move before either of them. BULUC,
Uh-oh.
though, taking matters into their own hands. That's so smart. Using that quick vehicle rotation to get some info. And,
Alim, get it
okay.
taken down. Yeah, so
That
you
was
know what?
clutch.
Very, very nice from Illusion on that rotation.
That was clutch, yeah.
Yep.
Jason
Now?
1v3. I don't think he could do it.
Oh my gosh, they saw him. Yeah, they saw him, and that's the game. BULUC CHABTAN, right? One of the teams on the chopping block here. Clutch up a chicken dinner off the rip. That is huge. Going into today, BULUC CHABTAN, where were they at? They had 185 points. This is going to catch him up to Butterfly Effect. This is going to catch him up to K19. So this is going to get really scary very fast.
And to start it off on the first match of the day, right?
Yes.
Now they're fired up. Now they're feeling confident. Now they're like, okay, we could do this. We got this. And they still got 3 more games to play. We have 4 more matches, but they only play 4 a day,
Remix.
right? Remix stepping up. Extreme Slayers, where we've been asking, where have they been? They've been doing okay. They've been doing all right. Not the Extreme Slayers we know and love. This is a Remix that we know and love, especially from Phase 1. He's cut back, and he's showing how it's done.
Putting up some big points on the board. So huge for Extreme Slayers. Honestly, even bigger for BULUC CHABTAN right there. That is what I'm talking about, guys. Talk about that clutch factor. That is clutch right there. Still 4 more matches left to go. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back.
Absolutely nobody. Nobody from myself, Cameron, Hot Jukes, or Sute decided to pick BULUC CHABTAN, even though they were the only team that have 4 players alive. I think it's fair to that we didn't pick them either because of what we've seen in the past. But boy, did they switch it up. Pull up the match ranking because that was a performance out of this team, and the way that they were able to pace themselves too, it was so good to watch.
Yeah, I mean, they were locked in C block, right? The shit didn't even go in their direction. Getting out of there was no easy feat at all. But instead of going towards the west, which is what I think a couple of people might have predicted from them, they actually sort of lurked up that eastern side and waited for the fight between Extreme Slayers, Canadian Eagles, and Ace to kind of break out. And they were there with the perfect timing, as you said, to sort of pick up the scraps and then take control of that high ground, just sweep bit by bit along towards the west to finish that game out. Really, really well done, as you said. But I mean, look, can we just say it? What an amazing round by Extreme Slayers. Again, like, this is like a throwback to week 1. It feels like the numbers are good, the elims are good, but that also means that it's mostly Remix that's in the kill feed. So they're still maintaining that question. Can Extreme Slayers deliver when it's not just Remix on the top of his game? But what a round coming in from all of that engagement on that bridge to make it as far as they did into the late game.
Absolutely. I love the way that they played that. Ultimately, BULUC CHABTAN, they found the right timing, as you were mentioning. They decided to push up as soon as Extreme Slayers pushed up over that little hill, and it was all over there from them. By the way, the Butterfly Effect, another team that I was wondering what was going to happen if Cloudy didn't end up putting up the numbers. And something that I'm actually really happy to see here from Butterfly Effect, even though they didn't get more than 8 elims, which is usually what they end up getting whenever they're in a top 3 situation, those placement points, you could see them, and it was just one player. He fully sent it towards where the middle of the map was, and he hoped that the circle was just going to keep going to him, and he did, and it kind of worked out for them. Hopefully, Butterfly Effect, I kind of want to continue to see some momentum out of them because I'm enjoying what I see out of them. And then 4-tool Nomads with the 9 points there. They're continuing to be a team that ends up in the top 5. But see, for 4-tool Nomads, it's completely different because this is a team that's not fighting for that 16th place. They're currently towards the middle, actually even higher, towards like a top 8 situation.
Yeah.
I want to see a little bit more out of them.
I mean, for them, it's just all about maintaining. So, yeah, on one hand, you know, let's just throw stuff and see what sticks in preparation for the final. But at the same time, you don't want to sort of ruin your game. So they're in a weird sort of like twilight zone of like, they can kind of do whatever they want. But yeah, here's the second half. Not a lot of points to go around. The big takeaway is Hyper, 12th place. Only 2 points. That's weird, but, you know, it's a military island game that already like throws so many things like just out the window. So I'm not reading too much into that. Same thing with Wall Street Bets, one of the teams that had a really good day yesterday. Sort of, you know, wasn't able to carry that momentum into this first round. But let's still see what happens for the rest of the day. We still have 4 more rounds to be played.
Yeah, Fez gets early knocked, early eliminated too in the bridge. It's okay in Hyper,
Yeah.
all right? You're allowed 1 game off. A team that's actually not allowed 1 game off because of what they just were able to do, Extreme Slayers. I want to continue to see more. Remix. This is vintage Remix right here that we want to continue to see. 1,000 damage, 6 elims? Yes, please, keep it going.
Yeah, but Baby's not that far behind. This isn't a puppeteer situation where it's Dong and friends. Remix is the top of the charts right now, but it's not a one-man carry at this point. You know, get those Frady and Robert numbers up, but like ultimately, this is not an uncommon split of damage and elims that you see for even teams like YKG when they're at their best, or Hyper as they are now at the top. You know, the problem is that it's always Remix at the top, but still, I'm not, you know, let's see this continue forward, as you said.
Yeah, I think if we can at least have 2 players, right, with Baby continuing to perform that way too, and being able to be the backup for Remix, this is ultimately the Extreme Slayers that we might be wanting to see for a while now, right? Just not Remix being able to be the only one that performs, the only one that's being able to put up numbers, even though for the most part, I think whenever they do put the camera on him, I think he kind of knows, he feels it a little bit on his shoulder because he's like, okay, where's the next person? Let me hunt somebody down. Now, a team that surprised me, and I kind of mentioned at the beginning, BULUC CHABTAN. I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
The timing on this team, I feel like it was so impressive because I was like, okay, you know what? They're going to stay there in the military. They're going to stay in those apartments. They're not going to do anything. It's going to be too late. Boy, did they prove me wrong.
Yeah, really well done. As you said, the numbers are looking good. They're looking fairly even. It's a full team effort. And the important thing is that, as we talked about at the top of the show, how far behind they are on the overall like seasonal leaderboard to qualify in top 16 for next weekend's finals. With this win, they are in the conversation. They are only about 5 points behind K19, about 10 or so behind the Butterfly Effect. These are just guesstimates, but it's around that range, and that is in the conversation at this point. Now, K19, they sat out the last game. So they're coming in right now, and it is their job to answer back what both Butterfly and BULUC CHABTAN had just delivered. But this is starting to look very, very scary for K19.
Yeah, for BULUC CHABTAN, I kind of want to continue to see them being able to take advantage when the circle does end up going their way, that timing, and also towards the end, too. We thought that especially the solos, we thought that they were just, like you were telling me, maybe just, you know what, handshake it, don't fight each other, see what BULUC CHABTAN is going to be doing. Yeah. BULUC CHABTAN was like, no, we're going to make sure we win this game, and they decided to send up a player in the bogey, be able to get a different angle. That proactiveness, I feel like, is something that we always appreciate out of these teams, and it's something, honestly, Cam, that I want to see more proactiveness out of these teams that need to get it. Butterfly Effect, BULUC CHABTAN, K19, especially coming in. You know what?
Yeah, no, just send it. Just full send. Listen, what happens if you lose? You're not in the finals. You're not there at this point yet anyway, so they just got to go for it.
K19, we want to see that proactiveness now.
Proactiveness, and we want to see it now. What better map to full send it? And none other than Vikendi, the map that we have seen the craziest of full sends, probably the map to full send everything on, especially with just how big the first circle is. You can take all those fights that you want before the zone starts condensing, and the circle's on hard shift. The full send, I think we're going to see some full sends here, Hot Jukes.
Talked about it too much, right? We haven't talked about it, but you know what? It's getting about that time. There's going to be some teams, especially squads like, let me look right now. I mean, Speedfire and Skills of Mind, right? I think at this point, it's not over. It's not over yet for Speedfire, okay? It's not technically over yet. Because
technically.
It's still possible. But according to how they've been playing, it's over. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But like, I'm the kind of guy that's just, you swing until it's over. There's no chance. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if they're gonna swing, they have to swing like right now, and it has to be a chicken dinner, literally. So if Speedfire's able to get a chicken dinner right now, I mean, this is a very favorable circle for them here. They can get a lot of elimination points as well, but it's going to be hard with how they've been playing. But it looks like, oh, are you kidding me? Is that Skills of Mind and Speedfire right next to each other? Oh my goodness.
They've been doing this fight, this drop for a while now, so they get the opening. So good time to get a clean opening, make it a 4v3. Don't
Skills of
mess
Mind,
up the follow-up. And Speedfire, they could definitely do this. Another thing to know about the bottom of the leaderboards, right? Every single point you gain down there is more valuable because the other team near your bottom of the leaderboards, they're probably not going to pull that many points ahead of you, right? There's a reason why they're all at the bottom of the leaderboard. So that last game, when the team got the win, that was a chicken dinner plus, basically, because every single point down there, like I said, is more valuable because the team ahead of you, lower chance of them pulling ahead, unlike near the top of the leaderboards.
Oh, yeah. So, you know, one team in particular that you got to keep an eye on, without a doubt, got to be Butterfly Effect, right? Butterfly Effect, you got to keep an eye on. Now, they're not playing here in this match, but coming into the next one, that's going to be their time to really shine and put some points on the board here, because BULUC CHABTAN is, with that chicken dinner, they're dangerous.
That Skills of Mind player needs to move further up. I know he's holding like an off angle, but he's got a Tommy in hand. That thing is not going to knock someone from that distance. You're going to like pepper them up, and then they're going to know where you are. So he needs to find a position to get the knock, move up some more, and it looks like he has. And I think he's fired off some shots, though. So I did see some bullet lines coming out from the minimap from his position. So, yeah, it's all falling apart. Skills of Mind.
Oh, man.
Just taking way too many individual type of angles and fights right now. It's kind of down to Bomba. The other player of Skills of Mind, I don't think is going to be able to do much at all.
This is tough. You can see Revelo about to go ahead and get that nade on the Bomba, get him off the roof. Ooh, that one did tip him a little bit, so he knows that they know where he is. You can see him just jumping back and forth. Maybe he's going to probably try and see if he can get to Trixie Boy. But they got these angles covered, so I think Speedfire is doing a great job of getting these must-have points.
Another nade coming in, tagging him up just a bit. Might not even have the meds. It looks like he has some. This is a hot drop, so these players aren't fully kitted by whatsoever. Four first aids, though, and level 3 vest. That's not bad.
That's lucky.
They got the reset, too. So Speedfire, not really putting the speed in their name. They let Skills of Mind get a reset. And the player that reset him was all the way up the hill. He ran all the way down. And oh my gosh, and Arviello goes down. And Clown goes down. Oh, man. This is just...
Not a DBS.
Things are getting messy, dude.
Cesar got lucky. Cesar, no, actually, no, I wouldn't say got lucky, but Cesar getting that knock is really fortunate for the team.
Yeah, 2v2 now. 2 on either side. Looks like
Jimmy
they're
has
both
to get
gonna...
the thirst. Got it.
They're both
That's
gonna
huge.
isolate the 1v1 right now. Trixie going for his one.
Oh,
Trixie boy.
Jimmy, not like this, Jimmy.
And here comes...
Bink.
Caesar. 1v2. Nope. Yes. Pops the door open. Fakes out some shots.
Chili Bink.
And
Oh.
yeah, there we go. That was
bad.
That was bad. That was a 4v2.
Oh, you know, hey, remember earlier when I said it's technically not over?
Uh-huh.
It's over.
Yeah, Speedfire losing the 4v2. Yeah, it was a 4v2.
It's
Yeah.
over.
They got the opening. They got the second knock. And they just... It was like 4 versus 1.
It's bad.
Because the other player was like all the way up the hill and running down to get the revive. And the one guy on the rooftop just stalled against 4 players. Oh,
Yeah,
man, that's so I don't even want to. I don't
that's
want to
tough.
think about it. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, the only thing I'll talk about is like, you look, when it comes to Speedfire and Skills of Mind,
It hurts
these
my brain.
guys can do whatever they want now. I mean, they really can, because even Skills of Mind with those eliminations, that's cool. But I mean, they need like 70 points to catch BULUC CHABTAN before their performance in the last game. So, like, they need like 100 points
Yeah.
to catch up, and that's catch up, and that's unless the other teams at top do nothing, which ain't gonna happen. So it's over for Skills of Mine. So you know, that's one of those dangerous teams, right? One of those dangerous teams, because they can do whatever they want. They could do whatever they want here.
They could.
They could decide to hot drop a team if they want to. They could decide to just, you know, get into a fight earlier and just take themselves out. They're 2 dangerous squads.
Yeah, and sometimes they start playing better once they know it's over. So when the pressure's off, some players, you know, definitely play a little looser, feels a little bit more confident. Like that last engagement, that 4v2, it looked like they were so scared to mess up that they just messed up. You know, they were so timid. No one wanted to push out first to just, you know, gun the player down on the roof. So they were all just holding angles. And like, there's a time and place for, you know, holding angles and playing it safer rather than rushing things down. But sometimes when you're playing that slow and that safe, that's when things go bad. And it definitely went bad for them.
Oh, goodness gracious. Yes, it did. So, enough of a talk about those guys. They had their fun. You know, now it's interesting to always see what teams that really had nothing to lose, what they're going to do. That's what the really big point is. But, you know, they were just unfortunately not able to get things going here. And it's always, and another thing is to see what they're going to do in the next split, right? Do they stay together? Do they split up? Are we going to see, you know, a team pick up, you know, a player like Trixie, who's been a really big standout, I think, for the squad.
Yeah.
But, you know, at the end of the day, no matter how good of a gunner you are, it's a team game, baby. Yeah, you need all 4 going at it. And if that synergy isn't there, if that skill isn't there, then it just ain't going to happen. So it is what it is. Look at that. We see Vikendi stats. BOPE. We're taking a look at them. And the second I said their name, YKG just had like a little shiver go down their spine.
Yeah, I'll never forget that trap BOPE set up on YKG on Sandhawk. It was like instantly all 4 players of YKG just gone in an instant. Didn't even know what hit him. So, yeah. Ace of Spades here rotating in. We have a lot of teams still making their way. Well, a lot of them are in the zone. But it's just ace of spades. They're deep in the blue. We did get a super hard Western first circle on Bikini. So not a lot of early game fighting because this is a circle where teams are kind of like, oh man, positioning is actually kind of important here because a lot of the map is already in the water on the first circle. So this is going to be a slower start and probably even a slow mid game. There's so many compounds here and every single team is just taking up these compounds and just waiting it out. And circle 2 is already up and everybody is in the zone except for Ace in circle 2.
Wow. And yeah, there was Everest from MEZEXIS was up, but he gone now as well. So here comes Ace of Spades. They're gonna have to try to get that moving. Meanwhile, you can see the stats from PASSIONFRUIT. Juancho up, and I'll tell you what, Juancho yesterday I got a chance to talk to him. He was a little frustrated. He was a little frustrated with that one Erangel game where Nate was a little bit too split off in the back.
Yeah, I
Right
remember.
on the fairy pier, and he was just like, dude, how did we not win that? You know? Like, he's like, yeah, we were all together, it would have been just an easy dub. But you know what? That's what happens sometimes. You know, players make decisions, teams make decisions, and hopefully you learn from them and make some changes going forward. So, you know, PASSIONFRUIT, again, one of those teams that I've had my eye on from the start, and I hope to see just grow every single day we get to watch them play.
Heading into the next circle shift here. And everybody's probably going to be in the next circle, honestly, on this shift. Skills of Mine, not in the zone, so they got to move a little bit. Ace wasn't even there to begin with. And BOPE, they're going to have to just move in and scooch in just a little bit. And everyone else is probably just going to keep sitting. Yeah, this is going to be one of those type of Bikini games. We'll get a very explosive mid to late game, though. And Hyper, center zone, holding a 2-2 split. And they're the only team holding a split in the center of the zone. I'm looking at everyone else. There are some other teams a little bit split, but that's on the outer edges of the zone where it's a little safer. So Hyper just always so confident in one another to hold those splits. They might have regrouped as I say that. Nope, they're still continuing to be split, it seems.
I mean, also, speaking about a team that could do anything they want, Hyper could. I mean, they have that big of a lead, you know? They are dominating this tournament. They can do whatever they want. They're most likely going to win all the MVP stats just as is already. So this could be an opportunity for them to try to mix things up too, right? Try some new strats, try some new splits, locations, and even throw some folks off the scent because this is going to be the most studied team going into the finals. That's for sure. So this could be an opportunity to kind of pull out some shenanigans to get to some team second guessing, because a lot of squads are going to be studying this team going into the finals. And if you keep doing the same thing over and over and over, you could start to get predictable, and that could definitely hurt you.
Yeah. Here's a counter opinion, Jukes, for you to think about.
Okay, give it to
What
me.
if Hyper are doing so well, which they are, that the other teams aren't even going to bother studying them? They're just like, Hyper will be first. Let's just try and get second. So let's study everyone else. I mean, honestly,
Hey,
you can
what
study it in Hyper, but do you think you can actually stop in Hyper and be the first place team? Just throwing that out there.
what if Pinocchio said, my nose is about to grow? It's a paradox, Ute.
Yeah,
know what I'm
that
saying?
is
Who knows? Who knows what the answer is going to be? You know, I just
Okay.
think at a certain point, you know, when it comes to Hyper and studying them too, yeah. I mean, it could just be like, it could go either way. It could go either way. Just thinking, hey, you know what? These guys got it. But I think that come finals time, you gotta give it to them quickly rather than later. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, you really gotta take the fight to them, and because if Hyper just gets their confidence up, they are going to be dangerous.
Yeah. Every time we see this, it's just the Hyper show. You know, I wish we had four portraits. I don't think the fourth would be Hyper as well. It could be. We'd have to check the stats on that. But imagine top players, most eliminations. It's just the Hyper team, just front to back. That'd be wild. New
that'd
circle
be
does
ridiculous.
shift. It shifts away from the northeastern side. So Canadian Eagles, BULUC CHABTAN, and 412 and YKG, they all got to move in a little bit more now. And now Hyper condenses up a little bit here. So no longer holding that 2-2 split. Looks like BOPE is getting into a fight with PASSIONFRUIT. Yeah, it's Nate Yeah, Juancho was saying, Nate, if you were just up in the front lines, if you were with me, things would have been different. Now, Nate, it's like, okay, I'm just going to push this 1v2 then. I don't even need you guys if that's what you want me to do.
Starting to see some Molotovs come out on the side of Passion Fruit. Here they go, and this is a player of BOPE. They got to watch out. They're setting everybody. They're not making, and they're not slipping up at all. So down goes Roa. So Passion Fruit get the better of them. So that's going to be 3 eliminations so far. You know, YKG is, you know, breathing a nice little breath of fresh air right there. BOPE is gone, so they don't got to worry about that squad. But you know what? Passion Fruit starting to turn things up. Ooh, Nate does get knocked by Ace. They got to make sure that he doesn't get thirsted.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah, almost does, but I think they get safety. Are they going to push this? Okay, I was about to say, they got them both in the vehicles at the same time, but they hopped out.
Nah.
They thought about it, though. They thought about it. You can see it. You can see it in their eyes.
Yeah,
Look,
definitely.
look.
They definitely thought about it, because that position's really good for them. That compound controls that little hillside up, and you get so much advantage and information there. So that is a compound that they definitely want. Plus, next circle, when they rotate, that compound is going to have clear sight lines on them, so it's a contention point for Ace of Spades. Canadian Eagles driving in, pushing right onto MEZEXIS now. Drago in the front lines gets one, looks for the second, doesn't find it.
So close, that spray. I mean, just probably just one bullet away from getting that knock. That's got to hurt. So, meanwhile, you have Crow coming up against Baby Tang. Baby Tang with the DVS. He's going to take the 1v. Oh, he takes the 1v1 and goes down.
Third party,
So,
K19.
yeah, here they come. K19. They saw that BULUC CHABTAN got those many points in the last game. They realized that we have to take our own future into our hands here.
Oh,
and
no.
Crow nades HH24. That's their strategy, though. That was their strategy.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Not oh, no. Oh, yes. Now they win the fight, right? According to science?
Correct. Yes. HH24 gets knocked. The rest of the team gets enraged. And then MEZEXIS just falls apart bit by bit.
Okay, well, all of it. K19 stuck in one building. They're just going to be nade magnets. They need to make a move. They can't just sit still. One of them's going to get caught by the nade eventually. Yep, Tokido goes down. You can't just push all 4 in a building and then just sit in the first floor. What is K19 doing? They're falling apart again. And now MEZEXIS are pushing in. They got 2 openings. Now it's a 3v2.
Not like this. Trip with a beautiful angle. He gets a nice pre-fire. I like the fact that he peeked back. That was another one too as well. All right, Trip. Trip's trying to turn things up all in his lonesome, but he's got to do some kind of miracle work here. He's trying to find the angles, trying to find the plays. He gets speed up in the process. Jump shot. He knows he's in trouble. And down goes K19 with a goose egg. We might not see this team in the finals, guys. That's gotta hurt. Here comes a 5th party.
The action does not stop. I told you, with so many teams up towards the late game, the mid to late is going to be non-stop action. And indeed, Excuse now coming here to go for another one. And oh, it looks like YKG's looking to look this way also. Three-way fight.
Hot.
They're not in the zone either, YKG. So YKG might crash this as well if they... I don't think YKG knows that there's 2 teams here. Yeah, okay. This is going to be a huge one. MEZEXIS holding off 2 teams. They're stuck in the middle. YKG with 3 up. Coming in hot. Not coming through. Inactive goes down. Another player of MEZEXIS goes down. Now YKG smells weakness. Excuse, are they ready to 5th party? 6th party? I don't know. I lost track. But this is non-stop fighting at this compound, Jukes. And it's not even center zone. It's on the edge.
Oh, goodness gracious. We're starting to see things turn up here. Who's going to win this fight? As Crow goes for the knock and catches it on the fears. That is disgusting. That has got to hurt. And down. Wow, MEZEXIS
He just
is
1v3'd them.
ridiculous. Wow.
He just ran down there and 1v3'd them.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Wow. Well, the question is, which team's going to get most eliminations? I'm going with MEZEXIS because they already have 11. And Crow is all by his lonesome. He's going to get this first aid off right in the nick of time. Oh, he's going to go down, though. So they're going to probably stick with 11 unless Crow just does something magical. Come on, make it happen.
We'll see. We'll see if
Do
the
it.
magic happens. 2
Do
of
it.
Excuse. Oh, 1 of Excuse is knocked right now.
Oof.
Crow pushing out.
Uh-oh. It's
He's
Chronix,
got that
though.
DBS.
It's Chronix. Chronix will play.
Oh,
Yeah. If it was any other player of excuse, I would be like, all right, maybe, but no. Chronic shuts that down all day long. That man's dangerous.
Chronic's just too good. And Hyper fighting against... Oh, never mind. They're done fighting against Execute. Execute taken out. And Hyper still with 4. They will get that reset. They have the zone on that south side. And Hyper, there's a good chance that Hyper might end up with the most eliminations now, as Cameron so smartly picked them. And Hyper has 4. They just need 6, 7, 7, 8. They just need 8. There's another knock. And with them having zone, very possible and likely that they might pass up MEZEXIS in elimination points.
Wow. That is insane. And it is totally possible. There's so many eliminations still on the board. It was so juicy, though. It was so hard to pass up. MEZEXIS there with those 11. And not even getting a single placement point. Is that a nade?
I sure hope not.
It kind of looked like it, though, for a second, right?
Yeah.
I literally thought it was a nade just placed, dropped right at his feet. But, okay, no worries. Meanwhile, you do have Koi getting a nice knock onto Minor. And BULUC CHABTAN still alive. Still alive with 3 players up. That's huge.
Ooh, Kai. Big opening. And the Thirst gets knocked, though, from the side from a different team. It was actually Lotus that knocked Kai. And, oh, Excuse getting picked apart, trying to come into this zone. And Chronix, somehow, some way, Chronix finds a way in and stays alive for now. The rest of his team all knocked, I think. No, Rosh is still up. And Hyper just peppering everybody from distance here. And Hyper, they're going to get aggressive, I feel like. They see opportunities here.
They have the edge of the zone. I think they're trying to get aggressive because they're trying to get away from this side as much as they can. They want to push up because they know that that's kind of like a no man's land. If all teams start focusing on them, they're going to be in trouble.
Oh,
Yep, they used all that distraction.
Spot.
They used all that distraction to be able to make that exact push right there.
Oh, man. Killer positioning out of Hyper. Still in a dangerous spot.
Oh,
because they could
point.
get naded, but they don't. Yep, this is so many points now for Hyper to get.
Lotus gets nade onto Kiddo. And meanwhile, you see Hyper making the push onto Rosh. Wow, they make it. And they're going to catch him. They're going to catch him.
He's 1 HP.
DBS. He doesn't even use the DBS. Instead, he's going to use a nade right here. Bounce off the vehicle. The bank is open. Never mind. Oh, wow.
Yeah. No, he didn't hit it. Oh, his support fire from GK First is down, though.
That's
so he
tough.
is, in a sense, by himself. This 2-man push
Ooh,
does
Rosh!
go poorly for Hyper. But look, the rest of Hyper didn't even come help because they have been playing so well that they really thought those 2 players could handle the entirety of the northeastern side, and they almost did. They almost did. That is just the caliber that these players are comfortable at playing at. So, I mean, it looks like a mistake, but man, they usually execute those cleanly.
You know what's so funny? I think if it was any other team, we would say, why did they split? You know, oh man, making a split was a bad decision. But in Hyper's case, it's just like, oh yeah, they were so confident. You know, like
no,
so
honestly,
which is honestly a actual plausible thing. You know,
yeah,
it makes total sense for them to do it. I mean, if any team do it, it's them.
It goes back to that that one thing you were saying yesterday with YKG. You're like, oh, YKG, why did they do it this way? And my counter was like, if you're playing at a high level and execute those things perfectly, that's how it should be done. And sometimes it just doesn't go the right way. In Hyper, usually it does go their way. And this time it doesn't. It really doesn't, because now Hyper is down to 1. Cameron's probably, you know, yelling at his screen right now like, Hyper, what happened to you guys? What are you guys doing?
This could have been an easy most eliminations for him, since he was the one that picked Hyper. And that was the team he originally picked. He didn't even think about another squad. So that's tough for the side of Cameron. And Koi's the last one up. I mean, the last one to make
he could still
Cameron's dreams come true. And that is one of his favorite players. So let's see if Koi can make something happen.
He could. They already have 8 eliminations as a team. But the team that's looking like they're going to win this match is Lotus. Didn't Lotus win Bikini yesterday as well?
But they're
From
just chilling with only
same-
2 eliminations. So, I mean, great win for them if they're able to secure it here, but they're not
Yeah.
able to get the eliminations. I think that they're not capitalizing on it as much as other teams would.
Hey, a chicken is a chicken. If they pick up 3 more points here, 6 eliminations and the chicken dinner, that's decent. And they definitely should BULUC. This
Hey,
is another good
BULUC?
game for BULUC, yeah.
Back-to-back? And honestly, BULUC with 3, and with how passive Lotus is playing, they could be dangerous here.
You think so? They could
Oh,
win this?
absolutely. I mean, they do have the low ground, but I think Lotus is like, there's something about when you haven't been getting into enough fights that your fingers are just not as warmed up. You're not as ready to take a fight as those that have. Now, BULUC has been pretty quiet here this match too with only 2 eliminations, but I tell you
Oh.
what, they got a whole bunch in the last game, and they get a huge knock where Lotus is so separated that they're most likely not going to be able to get that res.
They shouldn't go for the res.
They should
No,
not.
do
That's
not
the
go
worst
for that
decision.
res.
Yeah.
Do not run toward. Yeah, the nades are already coming through. Yeah, that player is not getting res.
That's
And
a smart
plus,
play. Like, that's one of those plays where BULUC CHABTAN could have waited. We talked about this
Yes.
in the green room yesterday. You want to explain it?
yeah, it's sometimes you allow a player to get knocked so that they can get revived. So right now, it's a 2v3 because that player has to stick the revive, and there's a timing to be had there. They confirmed the knock. But yeah, sometimes you let the other team go for the revives, and they usually sometimes put themselves in a worse position because of that. We're back to the 3v3. BULUC still not in the zone. Blue zone at their backs. They're going to have to crest
Gotta go the other
this
way
ridge
out.
side and be in the sight lines of Lotus. It
Oh,
all
that
comes
other way
down to the
would've
gun
been
skill
tough.
now.
Let's see. Can they hit the shot? They got a pre-fire.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. I'm telling you. They're ready. They are ready, Zute. And look at this. Kishi's not even in a good position to help his team. Goodbye. They're in trouble. Yeah, BULUC CHABTAN, they made it to that rock. That's it, to be honest with you. This nade is going to look pretty good, probably. Oh, actually not able to catch Betty. Just a little bit off the mark. But, I mean, Lotus is in a
Oh.
ridiculously bad spot.
Betty needs a double knock right now.
Needs it.
He's not even full HP. Minor on top of the shack.
Oh,
Fishy 1 HP. I think looking for a first aid from his teammate maybe. It's still a 3v2. Minor. Oh, he comes out. Watches his side. They're playing this safe. They're playing this close. BULUC with the patience. Not wanting to give one knock away.
I will say, Fetty has a Groza. That's their saving grace. Like, if Fetty with this Groza can make a crazy play. Oh, never mind. 1v3.
It's done. It should be done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuck in the shack. Finished.
Wow.
BULUC CHABTAN. The back-to-back.
Back to
Straight
back.
up. Straight up back-to-back wins. They came in here today on the chopping block, and they nabbed 2 chickens in a row. Jukes.
Unreal. Unreal. You couldn't have said it any better. On the chopping block, all the way to the victory aisle there. That is so sick. I mean, K19, squads like this are in huge trouble. I mean, 6 elimination chicken dinner. That's 16 points, guys. This is what we love to see. I mean, honestly, this is what I love to see more than anything, right? Teams that are just backed up against the wall, just performing, right? Just show it up right when they need to.
Yeah, it's beautiful to see. Most teams back against the wall, crack under the pressure. The comeback story rarely ever happens, but BULUC, they're starting off strong right now.
BULUC CHABTAN, we tip our hat to you guys. I want to see you guys continue putting that work. Other teams at the bottom, you better get it done, and you better get it done soon. We're going to be right back.
BULUC CHABTAN, not only did they get the update, they also got that Monster Energy, our official energy drink partner. Because if you would have told me coming into today, they would have ended up with back-to-back chicken dinners, I would have been like, nah, you're crazy.
Yeah.
You're crazy. I can't wait to see this match ranking. Cam, what?
Yeah, I don't. And the thing is, they're both done. The scores might look different, but they're actually done in very, very similar ways.
Yep.
Where BULUC CHABTAN, they're sort of playing this mid to late game kind of slow, and then they wait until the end to find the perfect opportunity to pounce. And this is something that is actually not an uncommon strategy of winning teams all the way back in the very beginning of any sort of battle royale competition. It just, you know, like all metas, it ebbs and flows on what's like the best way to play. And, you know, it obviously also has to do with like what team are we talking about? What do their players perform best in? But right now for BULUC CHABTAN, that's how they're succeeding so far. They're not the only ones that are getting points though, and Hyper are still up in the mix. MEZEXIS are very much in the mix with those 11 elimination points, even without any placements. But like BULUC, like I said at the beginning, they weren't in the conversation. They are now, this is just in my head, but I am pretty sure they are ahead, or at least like tied, if not ahead, of K19 and Butterfly Effect on the overall to make it into next weekend's final.
The math real quick. I think they, at the start of the day, they were behind 29 points, and so far they've gotten 30. Yeah, I think they definitely have passed them. So
They're tied,
wow.
at least.
Wow, BULUC. Okay, I like it. I would love to continue to see it. By the way, I enjoyed the rotation that they ended up doing, pretty much going from southwest. They did end up losing a player to execute, but then they were able to just go back to what we're seeing, and this is kind of what you were hinting at with just similarities within that win, where they just didn't really have to fight, but whenever they did have to fight, whenever they saw an opportunity, they kind of went for it, and right now, this is working out wonders for them. Not only are they getting that chicken dinner, they're also being able to back it up with at least some elimination points, which is great too. And as we continue to see, I mean, K19 right now is nowhere to be seen, so with K19 getting 0 points there, K19 set out the first match too, they definitely have passed K19. It comes down to just, can they continue with that performance? And I feel like that is a big if, but so far, back-to-back chicken dinners, I'm starting to become a believer.
Yeah, and back-to-back, 0 points for K19, if you include that they didn't get any points on the first map that they obviously didn't play. So, like, seeing that first Erangel go down with the points that Butterfly and BULUC got, there's a bit of, you know, sinking feeling. Oh, no, we really have to show up today. You know, yesterday wasn't just a fluke for Butterfly. And then now they go out super early, 0 placements, 0 elimination points. Oh no, this is turning out to be a really, really bad situation. And I mean, K19, they knew that they'd have to be fighting for 16th place, but to see the competition peak at such a fortunate time for them, unfortunate for K19, like this is where they're going to have to show that their mental game is up to scratch.
And I kind of want to, once we're done here, we can kind of move on from this overall from this match ranking, because I want to see BULUC CHABTAN's players today, their player stats. I want to see who's actually been performing for that team, because this is just such a big surprise, and it comes down to them working together as a team. We haven't seen anybody too far off. They're staying together, they're staying compact, and they're pretty much pushing for it together. Now with K19, they had the right idea in Davi Candy, right? They ended up pushing on MEZEXIS. But then as Sute mentioned it, and I heard Sute's rage starting to come, and he was like, why are they staying in the first floor when you're starting to push, K19? But you know what? There you go. I'm getting my stats. Oh, okay. Not super crazy stats, but hey, this is good, considering that it's 2 players currently performing really well.
Yeah, and Minor was not even that far behind. Happy Sour, listen, there's only so many points of damage and elims to go around. So again, this is showing that BULUC CHABTAN, it is a team effort, right? Like they're all communicating. They must be communicating very well together, just in terms of the fact that they're waiting. They're waiting. The moment is there, and they all they all push forward. They all land their shots. Just it's looking so good for them. It's looking so clean for them. I don't know if we're gonna get a 3-peat, because that might be asking for too much. I don't think we've seen a 3-peat. I can't remember the last time we saw a 3-peat of a team of any caliber. But I don't know, BULUC CHABTAN, they are definitely a big threat right now.
It's been a minute, but the good thing, I mean, this team could definitely do it. They are going to be playing next match, and I'm kind of enjoying that this team is starting. It's going to be playing the next match, because maybe they can continue on with the momentum. We've seen what they've been able to do here with the back-to-back, right? For the next match, we're going to, if I'm not mistaken, I think we're going to be going back to Erangel, and if they get a favorable zone, once again, we're going to see exactly what's happening here. And if they decide to be patient and just have that flip, just switch it whenever they need to, with the need to push, with the need to just hold off. I feel like this is going to be working out wonders for them. And now for K19, not only do I want to continue to see urgency, right? You want to do it with a third party, but it comes down to finishing it. And you know what? If we do have time, this is for production. I would like to see a K19 interview, because if I remember right, I think I got a chance to sit down and talk to HH24, and he was telling them, he was telling me during the interview, there's a lot of stuff that we are just not executing well, and I felt like that push right there from then was a perfect example. Yeah, HH24 gets knocked by a nade perfectly timed by MEZEXIS, but then as soon as he gets knocked, I felt like everybody from the rest of the team was just like, oh, what do we do now?
Yeah, I mean, the nature of PUBG Mobile is that you need to make the call. You have like half a second to recognize a call often, and you need to make it. And that doesn't give you enough time to even really detail the call. You kind of just all have to be on the same page. And that goes through having the reps with your teammate to be able to sort of have that like shorthand speak, and everyone understands what the game plan is in every situation. But sometimes like people's wavelengths can be hard, if not outright impossible, to sort of link up. And so that might be what's happening to K19. I don't have a name, but maybe they just need to make a change to sort of clean everything up.
Yeah, well, you know what? I was hinting at it. So I actually want to take a look at that interview with K19. Let's take a look at it, and we'll be back with you guys. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the PMPL North America Fall Split. My name is Seven Worlds Gaming, alongside one of the OGs from North America, HH24 from K19. How are you, HH?
I'm pretty good, man. Happy to be here.
Happy to have you here. Now, let's just dive straight into it, okay? Your team currently isn't performing the best. Week 1, 15th place. Week 2, 16th place, actually decreasing on the points that you guys got and not getting any chicken dinners. What happened in week 2?
A lot of mistakes we're doing individually, where we're just dying for no reason and not really like playing as a team. That's really it, really. I'm trying to help them on how to fix all those mistakes, trying to coach them.
Let's go, you know what, let's go back to some good times. Let's go back to week 1, right? Because we saw some great back-to-back chicken dinners out of you guys, but the momentum did not stay, and then you guys ended up with 3 early exits. How are you guys looking to combat that if you do end up getting some chicken dinners here going into week 3?
The only way we can really win is right when if we fix our mistakes. Like, we have really good positioning on zone and everything, but we're just throwing fights that we shouldn't be, or like I said, someone is dying for no reason, so we just lose the game.
The legend, HH24. Always good to see him do a nice interview right now, man. Oh my gosh. I mean, this man has got better at interviews every single year. I remember the first interview he did. First interview he did was just yes or no answers, you know?
Yeah.
Now he's talking about how rough his team's doing. You know what I'm saying? He is properly enunciating it. Plus, he has the same fan that I have and right behind him, so I know he's keeping cool as he plays here. So hopefully, he can keep that cool, right? Stay level-headed here in this game, because BULUC CHABTAN is popping off. All right.
Oh yeah.
And if K19 want to make it into the finals, they need to start doing that right here, right now.
Definitely so. And I was gonna say, when you're playing the top of your game, when your team is crushing it, you don't gotta say much in your interviews. Honestly, it's
That's
like,
true.
you know, it's like your team's doing great. You think it'll continue? Yes.
Yes.
Like, what more you gotta say? But when your team is struggling, you gotta start giving it more energy, explaining why your team is not doing so well. What are you guys trying to fix, and all of that stuff. And oh, first circle all the way to the west.
Okay.
Everybody jumping out on the east side. And, oh, did K19 just lose a player? Yep, K19
Goodness.
just lost a player. And I think their
Gracious.
other player is stuck in mansion with 3 of skills of mine. I see a smidgen, Jukes, of a gray circle underneath 3 pink circles, if I am not mistaken. I think that's where HH is. He's going to get a 1v3 here. He needs to get a 1v3 here.
Please, HH. Do it.
Wait a second. K19 only have 2 players. Never mind. There is no circle there because they're down to 2 already.
That hurts. That hurts. Because, I mean, man, HH24 legend here in the NA scene. It hurts to see him not, his squad not be able to really get a performance and squeak one out good enough to make it into the finals. Because that is what the case is right now, right? They're on the chopping block big time. So,
Wait, Jukes.
What?
Did Baton just 1v2 K19 off the rip?
Oh, my goodness.
He did.
He did.
There's 3 players here in Lipovka. Baton is not here. And you see right there, Baton has 2 points. He dropped split by himself and 1v2 K19 off the rip to start this match.
Wow. That's the energy. That's how we're going to start this one off? Okay. All right. Baton going crazy. And honestly, he's been going crazy all tournament long, right?
Yeah, this guy,
yeah.
he's, like we mentioned it before, he needs to get a pay raise on MEZEXIS, or MEZEXIS better watch out because, I mean, Baton looking like one of the star players here, so MEZEXIS as a team better pick it up.
Gotta agree. Gotta agree with you 100%. Because I'll tell you what, a lot of these top teams are looking for some big talent on their rosters, maybe even looking for a sub to possibly take to a LAN. And I'll tell you what, when you have performances like that, that is the position that you want to be in. And Baton is a big one. Remix is another one, right? There's a lot of big names that we've seen so far when it comes to fragger-wise that I think have a lot of potential.
And I like that you mentioned, even if you know, a player or a team doesn't make it, they could always get picked up as a sub to go somewhere else. Maybe not, you know, on the main roster until, you know, next year, but that's definitely a thing. I think, yeah, it's happened quite a few times. I know I've been known as the star sub,
the number 1 sub in NA.
Yeah.
I was about to say,
I had. That was my title, the number 1 sub in NA. Whenever a team needed a sub to go to a LAN or something, I was the first one hit up. So, hey, that's it's a perk when you do perform well, and you don't, you know, your team doesn't qualify, whatever the case may be. So, shout out to Baton, man. He really has shown that he's got the skills.
And if you want to like explain, like just having that title, right? Being that person that, you know what, the roster felt like they wanted to go ahead and up their game a little bit, they'd pick you up and take you to LAN, you know? If you want to just describe to people like just how much that alone has changed your life.
It's just given so much opportunity. So first off, the experience of LAN, you can't beat it. Like, you literally can't beat it because LAN experience improves your game in a whole different other way, right? And then also, it's just the exposure you get as a player, etc. It just does so much. So, honestly, you always got to keep playing, even if your team isn't doing well, because you'll never know what could happen next. As SLR playing aggro, Fetty's done for.
Yeah, he is. SLR, I'll tell you what, man, these guys in the early game, rotational-wise, that is what it is all about. So I'll tell you what, man, when it comes to SLR, these guys early on can get it done, but it's that late game, those big team fights that
Their splits,
just see them, just working on
defense. Yeah, definitely. It just keeps going back for to the old and hyper for me, like when they were still learning, right? So this SLR team, this is a team, another one of those teams I hope to really see stick together. Maybe at most replace one player, because that's exactly what NHyper did. They kept changing one player out here and there, and overall, I think they're gonna improve as a team drastically coming into the next split if they do stick together.
Yeah, that's something I want to see, because honestly, if they just kind of just hit that cheer park, you know, get that gun skill going, just start working on their team fighting, they're only gonna get better and better, because they do remind me of like a really early NHyper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Super early. Like, it's still going to take a few years. It's going to take a few years for them to get it going. Or it could take 1 year. It depends on how hard they go in the lab. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But honestly, I will say, more often than not, just getting those team fights going, all it takes is a couple little things to click, right? All it takes is one good VOD review where you have a conversation, and it kind of fixes those communication issues, and you start putting those into effect. And then
Yeah.
you start seeing your team improve little by little by little.
Have a few more teams rotating into this hard western circle. Keep in mind the playing path was far east, so these teams rotating are looking for their prime locations right now. Wall Street Bets finds one of them. Needs to move that car down because then Hyper's definitely taking shots at the vehicle. Yep, Killjoy coming back down. Very low health, and he's only got one first aid. He's going to try and use up his bandages first, of course. That one first aid will come in clutch later. And Hyper holding that radio tower split that they're so known for doing in a circle like this. GK first finds a knock on the skills of mind. And, oh, FS finding a follow-up one as we head onto the map. As yeah, so many teams still need to rotate in, and we do see players going down left and right now.
Yes, they are. Yeah, this rotation, I'm surprising it's taking so many players are going down because of it. That's tough. There's still a lot of areas you can go to. And okay, all right, this is where we're going to go ahead and end this game. There's still a lot of great places to take up in this area. That hill ridge there is big. There's that little wizard tower right there down dead center.
Yep.
Radio tower is still available. So many great spots. And Execute had their pick. They had their pick. I'm surprised that they're deciding to stay so far on this edge side.
Yeah, it's honestly not that easy to just play center. So I think a lot of teams.
That's true, but there's some really good spots more central of the zone.
There definitely is. We might see them move. The zone did just pop. They might just be a little bit slower, right? So maybe they'll make that rotation over. And Hyper, meanwhile, has picked up 3 points, and they're looking to make their own rotation. Wall Street Bets continuing on the rotation game, going to the hard shift side, keeping their back to the water. So that is definitely also a strategy for them to utilize. But yeah, center zone, that new circle, the observatory tower, the wizard tower. There's also
Dude,
that compound.
wizard tower's disgusting in the spot. This right there where Excuse is, a little bit further south that hill. There's that little wizard tower with that little plateau.
Yes,
it's such a strong position because it's so central in this zone. You have oversight over this open field completely. And if the zone shifts, if you could protect your vehicles behind the wizard tower, has a dip behind it, and then you can just rotate anywhere you want from there. So I'm interested to see which team decides to take that up because, I mean, it's really strong from the spot.
I've seen in the past teams would just full send that as 4, like drive straight in as 4 and just hope for the best and win the fight that way. Because it's that wizard tower is so hard to siege, right? That all you really can do is just drive straight in and take the fight straight into the players camped at the wizard tower. Execute here, holding that western side, so they didn't decide to move further in. It looks like they just want to control the west side, keep their backs clean. YKG here challenging Joey up close and personal. Fears on the off angle supporting, and Trick goes down. 24K finds the opening there, and yep, this is Execute. When their splits don't work well, everything falls apart so quickly for the Execute team.
I mean, it's so crazy that they decided to not move central. They're playing this far out, and they're still getting caught. That's tough. And it's by YKG. YKG is looking to punish them. I mean, you can see them coming in hot. And I guarantee you, Zute,
yeah,
YKG realized it was Execute after that finish, and they're pushing because of it.
Honestly, you wouldn't be too far off. But then again, YKG would probably do this against any team.
Well, we did see like a little bit of shenanigans early on in the tournament, remember? Between YKG and Execute, kind of fighting for...
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I see what you're getting at.
Fighting for Primorsk, and I think that YKG is just like, all right, Execute, you know? A little bit of bad blood between these two teams. And what do you know? Yep, they are pushing it. And, see?
Okay.
Tell me there ain't no
Yep.
Yep. He's just it's silly.
That confirms it.
And bagged, baby.
That confirms it. There's still one snake here, though, or a rat, should we say, Casper. He is going to do everything in his willpower now to take down one and go for a thirst. Especially with the disrespect we just saw.
You know, man, dude, sometimes I love it. You know, when you're right, you're right. What can I say?
Yeah.
Let's see how YKG handles little baby
Joey?
Casper here in this situation. Yeah,
Uh-oh.
they gotta be careful. Joey's by himself here. That's
Yeah, he's clearing
ridiculous.
everything by himself.
That's ridiculous, honestly. Like, that's the worst thing you can do. Like, this is why you go and you send a teammate just in case he does get shot up. He tries to pre-fire. He's gonna get thirsty. 100%. 100%. 100%.
Yep. Mistakes were made.
Joey. He's mad.
Okay.
I guarantee you he's mad. I mean, but honestly, I will say, amateur mistake right there from Joey.
Yeah, that was really bad. You could see that Joey was like clearing things, and then he got lazy. He got lazy. He didn't wait for his teammate. He got lazy. He was like, it's
probably fine.
It feels clear enough, right?
Yeah, we should be good. So yeah, that's tough. Yeah, those are like some of the hardest things to see, because that's all. That's all it takes is just one little slip up, right? And that could be the difference. Honestly, like if YKG had, like imagine YKG just has the craziest games after this, right? Just like chicken dinners nonstop and hyper throws. Oh, yep, here's that tower. And look at the team that decided to take it. Butterfly effect. The only place this is weak from, really, is from that backside. Unless you just walk out in the open, you know? But that backside hill could be a little bit weak because the teams can kind of push from there. But still, like, you should have so much coverage. You can just push up that hill and take them out. The only time that you have to worry is if you're sandwiched a little bit, but still, that is the spot in my opinion. I want to see exactly where Butterfly Effect ends after this.
Extreme Slayer's picking up a point here. Extreme Slayer's showing strong today, particularly Remix, right? He popped off in that, I think, first match, putting up 1,000+ damage. Here's the spot. Now it's under siege. The hillside being taken. Ace of Spades trying to take one away, but look, Ace of Spades is down to 2. 2 of them already knocked, and Butterfly Effect is about to get the full reset. They still have 3 up. Jason goes down and thirsted, definitely overstepping a little bit there. And Kumi just gets shot right through the smoke. Kiddo
goodness,
coming alive.
Just running out and just getting caught. That's tough. Now here comes the nades. Now we see D putting some nice suppressive fire, nice Molotov as well.
Yep.
But I'm surprised Ace even got this close. Like, usually you have players really secure this area so well that it's really difficult to push in unless they pushed from the other side of the hill.
They swung in from the south side, so they just cut down low and then up. And Ace of Spades had the whole south side to themselves because it was like the edge of zone. So it was a good push by Ace of Spades. It was well done in the sense of if you were to attack this tower, that's how you would do it. But we said it before, this tower so strong that it's so hard to siege. And honestly, that's what I've seen before. Teams would just full send like straight in with vehicles, all 4, right?
That's what it takes. That's what it takes. Unfortunately, they lose Jason. Kind of do a little bit of a silly play. Yeah, a little overstep. And that's what's, man, that's what I hate to see, especially at NA, because, I mean, we see solid teams, we see solid decisions. It just takes 1 second of laziness. You know what I'm saying? 1 second of just thinking, I got this, and boom, you're gone. You know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, like we said before, this is the place to learn, right? This is the place to learn that lesson and hopefully fine-tune those things, because we all make mistakes, especially as we grow as a player, and even the best players in the world in the biggest tournaments make those same mistakes, right? So it's about minimizing them as much as possible. BULUC CHABTAN still alive here, Zute, right? So, I mean, these guys have been just putting up points. They're going to have 3 players up. They're in the south side of the circle, though, so they're definitely not in the best spot position-wise, but they're still up. Right, still up, getting points on the board.
Butterfly Effect. Looking for more points right now. They already have up to 7. Lotus Esports controlling that south side, using that compound as an anchor point. Butterfly Effect down to 2. They're up to 8 points, however. Cloudy finds a nice bush to call home. He's going to park right in there, pop that first aid. Kubi is going to look for a different spot, it seems. They're down to 2, so it's almost better to split up here, playing together as 2 with, like, barely any covers, just a recipe for disaster. And Hyper with 4 players up, just the whole eastern side is their homeland. They're driving up and down, just getting all the info they want. No matter how the circle shifts next, they have info on the north, the center, and the south side of the circle.
And meanwhile, let's watch this battle between Wall Street Bets and PASSIONFRUIT. PASSIONFRUIT pushing up. Oh my gosh!
That was almost bad.
Zuko. What did we talk about earlier? Right? This is the 3rd player we see make those mistakes.
It happens. Too much. Way too
Guacho
much.
again! Guacho, what are you doing, Guacho? Gotta push together, folks. You know what I'm saying? You gotta clear the buildings together. You never know if there's a player there.
The thing is, they already knew there was a player there.
They should have known, right? Maybe they thought that Nade was that player. I don't know.
Oh, okay, maybe.
But still.
But yeah, no. But still, no. That was bad. And I think that was miscommunication because the second Juancho got knocked, it looked like he swung his camera back to his teammates to be like, "Wait a second, where are you?" It's like, "I thought you were right behind me," right? Have you ever done that? You run into the building, you get knocked, and the first thing you do is you swing your camera to see where the heck is your teammate. Like, I thought you were right there to trade me.
100%. That does happen. So
And that's what it looked like.
Yeah, because there was a little slight degree of separation. There wasn't too much, you know?
There was.
So, yeah, that is one of those situations where you could be like, all right, I'm pushing it, and you don't hear nothing from your teammates, and they're a little bit too far, and you're done for.
BULUC CHABTAN is doing whatever they can to ink out as many points. 2 chickens in a row already. I don't think they got this one, but hey, who knows? They have 3 up. Anything is possible. They got to go through Crow and Inactive, though. Crow popped off a game already, so, you know, he's warmed up. He's ready. And Butterfly Effect further into the zone, going to be looking to gatekeep both of these teams out.
Well, question is, Zute, which team is going to end up top 3? For y'all watching, I wonder, what is it going to be? What do you guys guess? Personally, I'm going to guess in Hyper. I'm going to guess in Hyper. They have a tough rotation. It doesn't look good, but they had 2 bad games, and they're in Hyper. So that's why I'm predicting them in my top 3.
Yeah, one of their bad games was that Vikendi where they, like, finished in 2nd place overall for the match, I think, or 3rd place. Yeah,
that was a bad game.
And that was a bad game because they could have won that with a lot more eliminations. So that's just the current state of things for Hyper. They're going to be on the north side. They're the only team kind of having to rotate in and take a huge fight. We already know BULUC and MEZEXIS here out of zone is just going to try and inch their way in. But Hyper has 4. They might make a huge play on the northern side. We definitely want to be ready for that when it comes. BULUC, Bobby Sour goes down. MEZEXIS just looking to get the points now. Yeah, they're not even going to bother looking inside zone. They know it's going to be dire to make it in. So confirming that point, very good job.
Ridiculous. So crazy to see. So crazy to see some of these plays coming out here. And I'll tell you what, I mean, we're seeing some solid performances from players that in the beginning we didn't have a lot of faith in, you know? One player out in particular, Cloudy, right? Cloudy had a really nice day yesterday. He's going to be the last player up for his team, most likely. But, I mean, he's got 2 eliminations already, and he's putting some solid points up. Meanwhile, you got Crow, you got Inactive. Inactive has been a really consistent player for MEZEXIS as well. And Killswitch, still a player that I'm waiting to really see, you know, soar in the next coming days of this tournament.
Here's the push, and Hyper pushing in against K19 of all teams. And it looks like Hyper might be taken out by K19.
Shut him down. Let's go, K19. You need these points. You need that confidence boost too, right?
Yeah.
Who cares about top 3?
And the circle lands right on top of them.
Oh my goodness.
This might make them just neighbors, Jukes.
No. And Hyper lost a player. There's no way they're letting this happen.
I mean, FS has 6 grenades, so yeah, he's gonna chuck them all. He's gonna chuck them all, trying to find some opening.
He's looking. He's like, is he in here? Nope. Pieces him both up a little bit. Throws this one a little bit further. I think Tokido, yeah, he leaves the door. He's like, I'm out of here. There's too many nades coming in. Molly goes
Oh,
on
he knows
in.
that
Bounce.
corner. He knows
yep.
that corner.
Yep.
Yeah.
So many players love to hold that corner in that box, and K19 eliminated.
Played way too passive. K19 just... That's the thing. When you play too passive and you let a team that knows what they're doing do what they do, you lose instantly.
And let's see, as we take a look here at SLR. SLR, one of those teams that, like I said, you know, rotation-wise, don't put themselves in too bad a spot, but here they're stuck in the south since they decided to take this compound. You know, it's really difficult to defend these. Let's see if they can do it. Chronix, deadly player. He's going to go ahead and send that Marauder down. He's going to do a couple flips. Ooh, one more? Oh, it's turtling. Yep, he has to pop out. That's tough.
Uh-oh.
Stellar.
Right into a nade.
Wow.
Ooh.
Ooh, return nade.
Yeah.
Let's go, Matt.
Matt one right back.
Molotov as well, trying to get some confirmations. Did he get? I think he hit somebody.
I don't think he threw it deep enough, though. If anything, he kind of mollied that doorway off
He's gonna get the
himself,
re-res?
so he can't push in now. He's hesitating. Yeah, hesitating. They got the res. Yeah, that molly needed to be deeper and more aggressive. It kind of slowed himself down more than anything. But the hip fire, he gets one. Gun switch? No.
That was close. That was close. I think I would have liked him to go and get that reset. He had time, you know. But regardless, I mean, it was a tough decision.
So. It was Chronix, though. It was Chronix. So maybe, yeah, he should have gone back because it was Chronix.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, White Elegy trying to first aid here to make a smoke wall as well, trying to get in the zone. It's going to be tough, though. I mean, there's a lot of coverage in that area. Meanwhile, the team that is just big chilling in Hyper. PASSIONFRUIT, happy to be neighbors with Hyper right now, and I think that is the right play. Just kind of stay at the bottom of this hill, try not to get pushed by them, don't make too much noise, and then worry about them later.
Yeah, let Hyper get pushed potentially and just third party because
Yep.
no team's gonna swing behind PASSIONFRUIT and push PASSIONFRUIT. At least doesn't seem very likely.
This makes no sense. Like, this is one of those plays where you should have a heads-up idea to not even shoot. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're PASSIONFRUIT, the best play is to just do nothing. Just sit, chill, don't even worry about anything, because you don't want to get pushed by Hyper. And like you said, it opens up the chance to where if Hyper does get crashed on, you can just run up in third party. So, I think the best play right now for PASSIONFRUIT was to do nothing, but now they've made way too much noise, and then Hyper said, who's out here? Who goes there? That's what they said. Who goes there?
More nade. Yep, and now they're done. They could have chilled. They could have chilled. YKG still alive. Kill Switch is still alive. Okay.
Oh!
Not alive
he's gone.
anymore. 6 eliminations, though, for YKG. This week has been their comeback week for sure. Still not the dominant, like, Phase 1 YKG, but, man, showing so much more signs of life.
Oh, my goodness. Meanwhile, let's take a look here at
Cloudy.
Cloudy still alive. 5 eliminations! He had 2 earlier. I'll tell you, Cloudy is showing up today, right? We talked about those players, right, that are looking to become those crazy
7.
subs. That was a double. He took out YKG by himself. 7 eliminations. Let's go, Cloudy.
This guy's a Terminator. He's just tearing a warpath through everybody. I don't think it's going to go much further.
That's 14. That's 15 for Butterfly Effect.
Hey, teams that need to step up today are stepping up.
Hey, you know what? Okay, he does go down to GK first of all people, right? But I'll tell you what. Butterfly Effect was that team right below BULUC CHABTAN.
Yes.
Right? On the leaderboard. So, BULUC CHABTAN, back-to-back chicken dinners to start things off. So, for that top 16, Butterfly Effect with that finish is so solid. I'll tell you what team that needs to start even worrying right now. Excuse, right? Excuse has to worry, I think, because we're starting to see some crazy performances from these teams at the bottom.
Yeah. Excuse. K19. These teams are scared right now. You know, there's a chance. There's a good chance you will be one of the teams that don't make it into the finals. Lotus, last 2 up, 1 up now. It's going to come down to Hyper versus Extreme Slayers. Extreme Slayers will have 4 and Hyper with only 3. I think that's a fair fight.
Yes, sir. Meanwhile, for sure, trying to get some shots all over the top. I mean, this is just looking too easy. It's good to see Extreme Slayer show back up, though, right?
Yes.
It's good to see them show up again because they were way too quiet for way too long. And I'll tell you what, they've done enough, right? They've done enough to make sure that they've gone to the finals, which is huge.
Huge knock.
Oh, man.
Oh,
goodness.
2 huge knocks. GK first. Oh, 3 huge knocks.
It's
Kindness.
just remix.
It is remix.
Hey, he's about to get right over. Jump shot.
You want
Goodbye.
aggression? You want aggression? How about that for aggression out of in Hyper? Wow. I don't think. Okay. So definitely Extreme Slayers made a little bit of a slip up for 3 to get knocked that fast. But then again, I don't think any team has the insane accuracy that in Hyper has to knock 3 in a row that quickly.
14.
Holy cow, in Hyper.
14 eliminations. I'll tell you what, you're gonna have a hard time going against any team going against in Hyper, especially with the position that they had and the sidelines they had, and you're on the low ground. Goodness gracious. 9 eliminations for GK first. Woo-wee! Hey, I wonder what he's gonna do with that $500.
Hey, kindness could still pass him, man.
That's true, but
Those two are just the whole in Hyper team. This is what a perfect team will look like. I still can't wait to see what they're gonna do in Americas. I still can't wait to see what they're gonna do. And okay, PMGC. I think they're okay for PMGC. I don't think they're gonna be dominant whatsoever in PMGC, but Americas, I want to see what they could do.
hey, I already said it, right? Hoping to see them in the grand finals. Don't go anywhere, guys. We're gonna be right back.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You heard that right from Sute. Use that hashtag PMPLNA, edit that clip, edit that last part of what he said, and edit it in a way that he mentions and Hyper is going to be dominant in PMGC. Because I think I heard that
That's
right
what I
as we were
heard.
looking at the match
That's what I
rankings
heard.
here. I mean, they're currently being dominant here in an A, right?
Yeah. So
I
surely
really-
it's got to carry over perfectly.
I'm like, I really hope somebody does edit that. Sends it to us. Use the hashtag. Because that'll be amazing. 14 elims, by the way. Yeah, and Hyper, we kind of expect this out of you. Butterfly effect.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Wow. What a run. And it was not looking healthy. It was not looking safe for them at any moment. But they continued to survive. And 15 elimination points. Barely made it into the top 4. Barely had a podium finish. But got 15 elimination points. The only thing that's keeping that from being more amazing is that Execute did a 4th place 20 elimination points earlier this week. But still, like, that's K19 are sweating. In fact, Excuse might also be sweating at this point with the way that the Butterfly Effect as well as BULUC CHABTAN have been playing so far.
Yeah, if I'm excused right now, I'm like, okay, you know what, guys? Maybe we need to start getting a little bit more.
We're not that
points
safe.
because it's starting to become a little bit too tight for tomorrow. We have seen teams. This is actually something we're going to be looking at some of the other teams here on the match ranking. If you want to go to the second one, we kind of talked about this before the show started, Cam. Some teams tend to change their gameplay too whenever they feel like people are catching up to them. They either go a little bit too passive and it ends up hurting them. And it's something you told me is that it happens a lot here on mobile.
Yeah, I still see it a lot, unfortunately, where when you are too afraid of throwing, you're too afraid of going into a risky situation. And so you say, you know what, let's just try and survive. As long as we maintain like 3 or 4 points, 1 or 2 eliminations, get a couple of place points, we'll be fine. But when you do that, the team that is chasing more often than not, they will get the points needed to overtake you. And a lot of that can have to do with like the momentum that they have going for them. The fact that they actually need to like try and jump for something. Because what is the saying? Like if you shoot and miss, at least then whatever. Anyway, like if what's the difference between not trying at all? They're still be like unqualified. But also, I think other teams, when you go into the last couple of rounds of a tournament, if they're set in the top 16, you know, it's not, the pressure isn't going to be the same on them. The stakes aren't going to be the same for them. And so that almost makes it easier for the team that is chasing, the few teams that do have that pressure to deliver when it gets down to it. You can't let that happen. So every single team needs to continue to try all the way into the last moment.
Yeah, we heard the caster say earlier too. I feel like teams sometimes do better whenever they feel like they have no hope or there's no chance. And one team that right now is currently performing pretty, actually really, really well is none other than the Butterfly Effect and Cloudy. Cloudy has just been putting up a performance, and this was the big question mark, right? Even though the players, if we look besides just yesterday, if we look throughout all the phases, everybody has been able to put up numbers. But yesterday, I feel like the big one was Cloudy, and the big question mark for me was, can Cloudy continue to do what he was able to do yesterday? So far, yes, he is able to do that.
Yeah. I mean, the numbers are looking okay for everyone else. No alarm bells of it's only Cloudy. This was, I believe, from just the previous match. So, you know, this isn't reflective necessarily of their entire day, but the fact is that Cloudy is still performing well. So we don't even need to answer the question of what'll happen if Cloudy isn't on his 8 game. He is still delivering with 800 damage, 7 eliminations. Like the damage to elimination ratio that he has right now is really strong. I think a lot of that is because there's been support with his team of like crossfiring on enemies and all that. But still, like they are on a roll. They are on a hot streak. And when are Butterfly Effects sitting out?
This next match, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, I think they already set out.
They already set out.
So
they're just full steam ahead the rest of the day.
Nice. All right. Well, and by the way, another stat that you were not able to see there on that graphic is the average survival time. Cloudy, if I remember right yesterday, what I was talking about at the beginning of the show, he had the most average survival time for his points. So not only is he getting them points with elims, he's also getting them points with those placement points. And you know what? Talking about placement points, talking about elim points, let's take a look at the overall for Phase 3 because I want to see where teams are currently stacking because teams will be getting bonus points once we get to the end of tomorrow. And right now, I mean, nobody's going to be challenging N-Hyper, not even close. I think N-Hyper's looking to beat the the gap that they had last week on Phase 2 to the second place team. But we're starting to see Extreme Slayers wake up a little bit, especially in the last 2 matches. And we're starting to see some of the other teams, too, it start to perform a little bit better.
Yeah. Now that you mentioned it, N-Hyper still have a chance to have an even bigger gap between first and second.
I think they're going to.
They're lagging behind a little bit, but we'll see. We'll see what Nomads and Extreme Slayers, especially because they're sort of woken up again today. They also might be starting to catch up there. But move it on down. It's the second half that I really want to see on where everyone is going. Butterfly Effects are 9th. Whoa! Oh, I was not expecting that. They've overtaken YKG. YKG haven't even had a bad day, but that just shows how strong of a day Butterfly Effect have had.
Yeah, Butterfly Effect started the day at 12th place with only 53 points. Got in 30 already. They're going to be playing the next 2 matches, too. Okay, Butterfly Effect. You know what? Keep it going. I want to see where K19 is currently at. Because when we're talking about some of the teams throwing there, I feel like K19 is definitely doing that right now. And they're sitting at 17th place there with 44 points. And I mean, tomorrow, you guys don't want to miss tomorrow's beginning of the show. Because we're going to be showing you the overall for all the faces, the top 16 teams that are currently fighting to get to those finals. And I feel like every time we go back to it, it's like, okay, you know what? Maybe there's not a chance for some of these teams. It just keeps getting closer and closer for some of these teams.
Yeah. I just noticed that K19 have 2 points in 2 rounds today. So as far as them being overtaken, like they have to wake up if they want to maintain that 16th place position. They have to wake up.
They do. You know what? It is Miramar. So let's see if K19 can wake up. If not, Butterfly Effect is going to continue to steamroll past them.
Hello, everybody. This is your captain speaking. We're currently flying into Miramar. It's a crisp, nice 78 degrees here in the desert. And if you look up to the sky, you can see it's looking pretty cloudy. That's right. Cloudy from Butterfly Effect, dude. This guy has been showing up right when it counts. And he's playing in this match, him and the rest of Butterfly Effect. So I'll tell you what. If he just keeps that energy here, Sute, I mean, we could see a star-studded performance right when it needs to happen.
Yeah, when it's the most crucial, right? This is that clutch factor. This showing up when it's clutch is way more important. So Cloudy, let's see if you can continue that role. The plane path looking very straight down the middle. Everyone should be able to get to where they want to, no problem. And yeah, do you remember when there was like that hot drop fight in Impala constantly? Let's see.
Oh, yeah.
No more of that. No more of that. And oh, highest damage is no longer 3 of Hyper. Long makes his debut right now with 5,029.
That's all our player. Right? I mean, that is insane. I mean, we always see Long in the feed, right? For sure.
Yes.
I mean, so it's crazy to see, like, not to see them have as, like, a crazy amount of success when it comes to fights. I mean, their early game, I think, is with some of the best. They really get it done right in the early game. It's just finishing up that end game that they need to work on.
Yeah. I'm so glad we did see Long pop up. It's just because we always mention his name, and now it's like, yeah, it adds up. It adds up over time. SLR may not be like the highest in the leaderboards, but when you have one player in particular, Long, putting in work every game, it accumulates, and you can see it in that total damage. He's in the top 3 for total damage, even though his team isn't in, you know, that huge high end of the leaderboard, soaking up all those points.
Speaking of soaking up points, right? YKG needs to soak up a whole bunch here. If they want to make that the easy PMGC dream come true. I mean, it's pretty much dead. It's pretty much dead, right? But I'm just still saying. And, you know, like, you know, they win every single game with, like, double-digit eliminations. Who knows? Who knows what could happen?
They'd have to take out, like, the whole lobby.
30
like,
eliminations a game, you know what I'm saying?
Like 20 to 30 per game. And if they
there's
do,
a chance.
if they do get 30 eliminations in a game, right? They have to make sure Hyper isn't getting the other like 20.
That's true.
So.
That's true. They can't get any.
Because Hyper's fragging, man. Hyper is picking up elimination points like mad nowadays. It's so crazy to see. Their average damage dealt on each map is like 1,000 plus.
Unreal.
Right? Just, man. This is the Hyper we've all been waiting for. And it was a flip of a switch, Jukes. I still remember in this tournament on that Vikendi on phase 1, we were like, oh, it's still Hyper. The team that can't clutch, that can't play aggressive, that chokes.
Oof.
Nothing new. And then out of nowhere for 2-3 weeks straight, we see a whole different Hyper. Speedfire, nothing to lose. Going aggro. Looks like they'll take down 1 player there. And, oh, 2 players knocked. Skills of Mine. They need to start stepping up too. Is there the push?
I mean,
yep, the push is
always
coming.
on Speedfire. Always.
Yeah, these 2 teams.
Well, I mean, this is why they're at the bottom, right? They're always battling each other over here at the start. And, I mean, Skills of Mine, there's 0 chance of them making it. And I'm going to say the same probably for Speedfire. But you know what? Let's watch. Let's see who wins this time.
Okay. Well, it's a 2v3. Clown still knocked. Not able to get revived. I think he is actually getting revived in the back. And that's a huge push right there. Skills of Mine's pretty much done in this fight.
Big points. Big points for Speedfire. Take it to the bank. Take it to the bank. We're going to go ahead and finish up this fight here. Oh, actually, no. Though it's still wasted on the other side. They do end up catching and finishing Trixie, but I think both these teams, yeah, they're fighting really hard. Really hard to not be last place.
Yeah, it's the fight for not last place.
This is what YKG should be doing. Dan Hyper. Should have done that a long time ago. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, they tried.
Yeah, but they should have done it more.
We all remember what happened when they tried. So.
We don't talk about that. We don't talk about that.
Wasted. I don't think. Oh yeah. Okay. Wasted is okay. So Speedfire lost the 4v2 earlier today.
Yeah.
So they're not done yet. They could still lose this, honestly, against Wasted in a 4v1.
It's possible. It's possible, right? Let's see. Let's see what happens, though. Meanwhile, you got I can't believe we're actually saying it's possible. You know, we're actually saying it is possible because you just don't know.
Jimmy's gonna get knocked and thirsted potentially here. Oh
No
my
way.
gosh.
No way Jimmy goes down, right? No way they lose Jimmy. No
yeah,
way he's running on
yep,
the open.
yep,
There's no way.
Yep. Oh, knock and oh
Reload.
yeah, he had 11 bullets.
He mid.
Oh,
Yeah,
yep.
you got him.
There we go.
Wow. It hurts. It hurts to watch. It hurts to watch.
Yeah,
It
no matter
happens.
what Speedfire does right, they will find somehow to do something wrong.
Oof.
And
Oh,
K19,
K19, they need these points. They need these points.
they need it bad.
They need him real bad. HH24 heading up the field. He soars. And oh, they were so blinded by the graciousness of HH24 on that flight that they got distracted and got knocked. So, meanwhile, here comes the rest of K19 on the push. Speedfire said, "Nah, we're out of here." So the last remaining
chasing
two players,
that.
HH24 still on the run. So we got a runner, boys. We got a runner.
HH is gonna chase that. He's got the buggy. He's got the speed. Oh, he's trying to take the shortcut up the hill. Cut off the rotation and
Jump high ground. Oh, they popped out. They popped out. HH24 run. You're in a 1v2 situation. Oh, he actually got one. He's owning.
he got one. Oh, HH pop. Oh,
Got caught.
the support's there though.
Almost got the double though. That was really nice.
That's what K19 needs to do. They need to play aggressive. Not like in that last match, we saw the two players just sit inside the house and then just got naded, right? They just kept waiting and waiting and hiding. So good to see K19 finally going aggro, taking fights into their own hands. And Extreme Slayers playing really well today. Remixes knocked, but I think they're pretty much going to finish up this fight against Lotus. Unless if that nade hits, it doesn't. Baby Bray still up.
Oh, all right. There goes Gara. Gets knocked. Extreme Slayers have been putting up some good eliminations here today. So they have been showing back up. Lotus is one of those teams that's just a little fishy. You know what I'm saying? A little fishy. As one of their players is saying that. They put themselves in some solid positions and get some decent points, but I think that's their struggle is that early mid game, right?
Yeah.
Just trying to get to that late game is their struggle. If they do, they put solid points on the board. But if they just lose players early on, then they just really seem to struggle.
Yep, definitely have to agree with that one. Next circle about to shift out. We have a lot of teams. Oh, man, that is a far south circle. YKG is looking in a very good spot. Question always is, though, with YKG when they get the zone is how good is their splits and defense? Wall Street Bets fighting SLR. SLR, nice. Look at that. Spread onto Wall Street's Bets. Okay, keep that fight going. You already picked up 2 points. You could easily pick up 2 more here. He gets tagged up a little bit. The one-man push. This is good pressure. Now Stellar needs a follow-up. He hears the player running out the backside. SLR turn up that aggression.
A little off the wall. JatG still up. Barely, though. And, yeah, I think it's just Stellar up here, really. I wonder where the rest of the team is. Here they come. They got to be coming to support this fight. It's like K19 catches Excuse. That's huge as well. Because those are two teams that are very close to each other on the leaderboards. Wall Street Bets trying to hold this by himself. He did move. He has that bank nade. Oh, the pre-nade not working out. Here comes Long. Soaking up more damage.
Yeah. It's Execute K19 and Excuse over here.
Wow.
Looks like Execute HH is knocked already. About to bleed out. Gets confirmed. K19 down to just the 2 players. So they pick up 5 points, but it might be all they can pick up. Trip holding back 3 players of Excuse. Trick is knocked. Excuse getting that one. Looks like the team that might come out on top overall is Excuse. As Execute struggling to deal with that player. One of them gets knocked and Excuse will
Kill
see
switch.
that
Wow.
in the feed.
K19 getting eliminated. It's gotta hurt. Gotta hurt them. You know, they're trying to put some points on the board. They kind of get a little bit of love here and there, and then it just seems to just taper off. Meanwhile, yeah, Execute 2 players up, gonna have those points, and Excuse still keep everyone up at the same time. That's pretty huge.
Yeah, Excuse pick up 2 points. Very messy fight up here. 3-way fight. Kill switch. Can't even go for the revive onto Trick. It's too risky. Excuse is still hunting. The kill switch has to drive off. solo player now for Kill Switch. We'll see what he can do, as the zone is also far away, right? All the way down in the south side.
And the zone is really on the south side here. Okay, so let's see how the rest of the squads line up. BOPE still up. All right, BOPE still up. Big chillin'. SLR up on top of the hill here. The question for everybody is, which team is going to win the match? Put your predictions in, guys, because it's going to be interesting to watch. YKG, dead center. Minas del Valle finish. We've seen quite a few of these here in this tournament.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think squads are definitely used to this side of map, or they definitely should be by now.
Circle shift comes out, swings over to the east side, just pretty much centering right onto everybody that's in the zone already. We have Extreme Slayers coming in on the south side, looking to swing up. Teams in the north, I don't know if the teams in the north can make it in. Butterfly Effect, by the way, fighting 4-1-2 all the way out in the blue next to Picado. I don't know if this was a trap rotation or it just happenstance, but there we go. They get the points.
The box shot!
Interesting. Interesting.
I think that's just anger being let out from Jason, you know? Him getting taken out earlier, I think really just frustrated him. So now he's just getting some good eliminations on the board. He's keeping his team alive, making sure that they head over to the finals.
That might have been a trap rotation play too, because
So?
that is just deep down in the blue next to Picado. So, good points for Butterfly Effect. They keep the momentum going. K19, well, I mean, they picked up 5 points and they're out, so this is not good for the K19 team. In Hyper, looking to crest this hilltop and take it over. Canadian Eagles looking to defend. Baby Tank getting extremely close to 3-4 players of In Hyper. But that pressure of the audio cue alone, okay, I was going to say, if he stayed there, GK First was going to back off, but it looks like Canadian Eagles backed off instead. Look at left, right, head on a swivel.
Wow.
He is a one-man army, a turret right up there on that hilltop.
Just unstoppable. I mean, creating so much space for everybody right now. Here comes Bob on the push, looking to, maybe just try to get some kind of shenanigans going. Nope. Doesn't get any intel at all. So I'm going to go ahead and right back towards his team. And Hyper on the hill. Ever so dangerous. Both get some shots from across the way. Quinn said, yeah, you know what? Let me see if I can hop in that Bugatti and get out of here.
Canadian Eagles is like trying to play a chess match right now within Hyper when it comes to positioning and out-positioning the other team. And I don't think Canadian Eagles is going to end up winning this one. It kind of stalemates down, though, once again. But just as I say that, Jukes, In Hyper is In Hyper. So they get the opening, and Canadian Eagles looking like they're about to fall apart now.
Wow, and here comes the pressure. Koi always looking for those angles. You can see him pushing up with kindness. Bob trying to mount a defense here. Most likely going to try and hop in that buggy and take off. You can see him waiting,
gosh.
and yeah.
That's
nice
butterfly
shots there
effect.
nice shots there from D, and gets the confirmation. So securing more points, Butterfly Effect is. I mean, this is just a solid performance here. But now they're starting to get in a long-range battle with an Hyper. Oh, nice shots on the Koi, though.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Yeah, so and Hyper aren't invincible long range. They can still get damaged, as you see. Next circle, right up onto BOPE in the dead center. Every other team's pretty much around the edge. Canadian Eagles had to back off that fight with only 2 left. I think they might be at a shack of sorts on that south side. We might not see too many fighting besides on the west side. YKG and Puppeteers. Puppeteers is a team that we haven't really talked about because they just fell off. Let's see if they could do something here against YKG. Joey up in the front lines. One of Puppeteers already knocked too, so YKG
Joey
on the aggression.
Joey got that MG3. That's the gun you want to see him have, because I'll tell you what, that's where he is one of the most dangerous. You can see him trying to apply that pressure on the Rise. Got that M4 now. He's going to blow up that truck. He's going to Rise has to back up, and he does back up just in time, but Chico gets a knock on a Reckless. And, here come the run overs. 24K gets the run over on the Dog. And here comes YKG stepping up the aggression here on Puppeteers.
Oh, man.
He's getting launched. 24K overshot it just by a little bit, and he is just out of the fight just like that.
Yeah. Nice Nicely done by YKG. That looked clean. That looked good. Puppeteer is falling apart real quick. Excuse. Full sending to the center zone. Ends up running into BOPE as Hyper starts engaging with Extreme Slayers on the south side of the map.
Here they go. Kai try to hop in the vehicle here. Fuego throw in the nade. Oh, wow.
Right out the car.
And Kai gets thirsted by who?
Oh.
By SLR.
Yeah.
SLR with a nice steal here, and here comes the rest of BOPE pressing here, and this is on Excuse, a team that is on that line, on that precipice of going to the finals or not, and I'll tell you what, that is only going to be 4 points for them. That might be enough, though. They had a little bit of a good bounce, but here comes Extreme Slayers applying pressure and taking out Hyper.
It was Remix. It was Remix.
Remix.
That was close range with the mini, too.
Legend.
Dang.
I'll tell you what, Remix is a legend. I mean, this guy is dangerous. I don't care who you are. I mean, anybody out there needs to keep an eye on this guy because he can make some plays against the best of them.
Definitely so. Remix stepped up huge right there. I think he might have 1v2'd. We didn't catch the whole fight, but he picked up 2 eliminations, and he had to switch to the mini for both of them looking at the feed. So he was close range up there, and he got it done. So good job out of Extreme Slayers. They could still keep going in this match, too. They still have 3 up, I believe. And last time they had 3 up on the first game of Erangel, they ended up almost winning the match, but they slipped up at the very end. So we'll see what happens in this one. YKG still up with 4, too. We got to keep that in mind on the western side.
100%. Well, let's see how in mind that we're going to keep that here as this zone is about to pop, folks. Where is it going to go? We're going to center on up. You know, BOPE and Canadian Eagles are hoping that. But look at the spread that YKG has here on the left side of the map. I'll tell you what, these guys are poised to win this match. Is YKG back? We saw a little spark before, Zute. And I'll tell you what, the zone does go south, so SLR are going to have to push down. But, you know, YKG are going to have a good lay of the land here for this game.
Yeah. YKG looking to get more elimination points here and placement points. Butterfly Effect not in this circle, and judging by that zone, they don't have much options to play. And there's that shack close by, but I hope Butterfly Effect tries to do something more than that shack, because Butterfly Effect still has 3. So they could take a fight rather than just all sending it into one small shack and praying for the next zone. Circle will start closing soon, Jukes, as Butterfly Effect probably the only team that has to really make a big move here.
Yes, indeed. Let's see. Where are they going to go as we take a look on over? BOPE, still big chilling. This is that calm before the storm here because there's still enough real estate for all these teams to stay exactly where they're at, especially since so many teams did go down. Now, at the question, which team won the match? I'm going YKG, you know? They have so much real estate. I think this is definitely their game. If I could pick a second, though, I would say don't sleep on Extreme Slayers. I think Extreme Slayers' 6 eliminations are starting to look pretty crazy, and I think Remix is red hot after that fight with Hyper.
Yeah, I agree with that one right there. BOPE could also take this one, too. BOPE still has 4 up.
That's true.
And they're dead center zone at a strong compound. It all comes down to if BOPE can handle the crash, if it does crash onto their compound. It's the hurry up and wait game here. Everyone just waiting for that next circle shift.
Take your time. Take your time. Think about it, right? Think about what your play is going to be. Think about what the next circle is going to be. All right? How are you going to rotate to it? I mean, that's what you should be thinking. I know you're again just gathering information because right now, you know, trying to make some crazy push and shots, most likely it's going to be pretty unlikely. As we still have a minute left on the clock here, folks. So grab your Monster Energy. Get excited, guys, because I know that this is going to be an all-out war here in the next minute.
It looked like Butterfly Effect has split up in the 3 separate shacks still left open on the east side. Not a terrible choice, honestly. They could group back up together if one of the shacks is in the zone. So good to see that they're not sending all 3 into one shack. They're doing a 1-2 split. 2 in one shack, 1 in the other. On the east side, there's a decent chance one of them will get the zone unless if it just hard shift strengths to the west side. and everyone just waiting to see what happens next here. Circle about to come up. SLR with 4 on the north, YKG with 4 on the west. These two teams will probably have to make the next big move.
Where is it going to go? Where is it going to go? It's starting to close here. That's going to make things really interesting. Regardless, YKG should have plenty of time to be able to rotate pretty much wherever they want on this one. They can either send it right down the center. They can go down the south side. They can wrap. It's going to be really interesting to see what they take, though. SLR still has their whole squad up, though. Oh, one does get knocked and thirsted. That's going to go ahead and knock them down a peg or two. That's going to hurt.
Oh, the circle just goes right in the middle, so we might see the same thing continue to draw out a little bit. SLR did make the crash, though, and took out one of BOPE. Wait, BOPE was a 4-man, and now, okay, yeah, only one of BOPE went down. I didn't see the third member still on the screen, so 3 from BOPE, 3 from SLR, and I think YKG is just going to wait to see if SLR does something here or if BOPE does something, because YKG, they're in the zone, and they have the high ground. They could just wait and third party and take their time with this one.
Yes, they can. So YKG just need to take their time. Honestly, this is, like you meant, this is one of their perfect situations, I think, if you're YKG, right? You're playing edge. Your back is completely clear. All you got to do now is just look inwards and fight it out. This is where they really thrive, I think, out of all the situations.
I definitely agree. It is their game to take now. Extreme Slayers is still up too, with 3 on the east side. They will probably engage with Butterfly Effect just a little bit, because I don't think Extreme Slayers on the east side want to wait one more zone. If they wait one more zone, other teams might start coming into play, whereas right now, they could kind of engage Butterfly Effect on their own. And with Butterfly Effect being in those shacks, it should be an easy time for Extreme Slayers. As, yep, just as I say that, they catch Jason. So Jason, isolated on the north, will be taken out, will not be getting revived. The other 2 Butterfly Effect you see right there on your screen, and that shack just chilling.
Yeah, Butterfly Effect completely stuck. But so right now they're just trying to get as many points as they can, placement-wise, because they're not leaving there. That's for sure. I mean, unless they time it perfectly and get lucky, that's really what has to happen. Extreme Slayers are on the rotation, looking to catch up to Frady, because Frady is in this next circle, so really heads-up play. I'm telling you, if there was another team that if I could pick 2 teams, I think Extreme Slayers is definitely one to keep an eye out for. Frady's got good coverage here. He's got eyes on Butterfly Effect. They're completely stuck. I'm surprised tires are not getting shot here, Zute.
I don't think they need to shoot the tires. Like,
or maybe they want to leave the tires to think that, yeah, they have an option to run away, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Remix casually runs over.
Wow.
24K? I didn't... My brain was not ready to see that happen. How did he run him over? This area is so hilly. Okay, well...
It's always the question. It's always the question.
Oh, he's shooting the...
Yep, here he goes.
Yeah.
Remix said, nah, you know what? I don't want none of these tires here. All right, they ain't
can
going
leave
nowhere.
those tires up. Like, the car's got nowhere to go, and like, if they're gonna drive, that car's just gonna be an easy target to blow up. SLR pushing BOPE now, using the time to like take this fight because they see action happening elsewhere. Very smart for SLR.
Dude, I'll tell you what, their timing, right? Their decision making, always so solid. It's just the team fights, right? It's just the team fights and the simple mistakes. And right now, Stellar, I mean, you see the team fight, right? You see a little indecision from both players. They're both kind of taking their own fight here. Stellar's in a 1v1 position, actually long with that off angle, crushes it, and they're able to finish out BOPE. Now they have this side of the land to themselves. 10 eliminations.
Long with 5 of those 10. At the start of the game, he made top 3 in overall damage for this phase, kicking out one of the Hyper players, and what do you know? Right now, he has 5 out of the 10. Probably has the most damage on the team as well. This player just always showing out. Long and Remix, you know, these are some names to really watch out for.
Straight business. Straight business. Goodness gracious. Meanwhile, I mean, YKG losing 24K pretty ridiculously. Can they still finish this game, though, right, with 3? I mean, Extreme Slayers are red hot. You have Long from SLR just on fire. This could get interesting here, Zoo. I think it's pretty much almost anyone's game, except for Kubi. Kubi's stuck.
Kubi's in the zone. Canadian Eagles finally getting pushed now. They've been in this match for a while, just chilling. just waiting. But now
Joey.
YKG are looking their direction. Quinn's got nowhere to go. He finds a hill to hide behind, but I don't know how much longer he's going to last there.
Yeah, exactly. Chico throwing out some smokes, trying to buy himself a little bit of time here. That is going to let everybody else know exactly where he is. So that's kind of dangerous, but sometimes you just got to do it. I think in this position, you don't throw smokes on yourself. Yeah, you throw them a little bit further out because it just leaves you wide open, and you just see Remix just pre-fired some smoke and took him out just like that.
Yeah, Remix with the mini. Just so deadly
Dangerous.
with that mini. I think he had a great mini highlight clip in phase 1. Like in the very first match on Erangel, if you recall, it was on to execute in military base.
Oh,
you
that's
remember
right.
that?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was sick.
from way back at the start of the tournament. He has been rocking the mini. Oh, Remix does go down though, and he is far separated from his team. He is in the zone. There's a chance they can go over to get the revive if Remix has decent cover to use. Yeah. Oh, Baby Brain thinks about it. He's gonna go for it.
Oh, no way. Okay, he's sending it. He's sending it. Does he make it? I think he just might. YKG going for the rest. That's Canadian Eagles out of here. We're in a top 4 situation, and Koopy from Butterfly Effect is like, we got to make it to the finals, guys. I'm staying alive no matter what.
Baby Bray sticking that res YKG. I think YKG just got off a res, so they weren't fully ready to capitalize off that and make a move. And plus, SLR on the north side has such good sight lines onto anything that moves across the map. So YKG is very hesitant to push also. This is a very unique ending on Miramar. I don't think I've seen a situation like this ever in Comp Clay with the way things are playing out.
Oh, this is insane. This is insane. You got SLR having a little bit of high ground in this perfect little amount of cover, but it's out of zone. Oh, Gooby, run! Save yourself! And Gooby, still alive. Still alive. Survives with 1 HP.
No way.
Stellar.
Oh, here comes the push though. I think YKG is maneuvering now on the south side as, oh, they're cutting
Was that
cut
Kubi?
down.
Kubi?
It was from Kubi.
Gooby said, get off me. Get off me. This is my smoke. This is my hill. And he gets Brady as well. Gooby's going off.
Kubi is putting in work.
Survive!
YKG swung down on the south side though, backstabbing onto XTREME Slayer's positioning, and super lazy Reflex is chilling. It's all down to Remix, and I don't think he has a hard cover. He did manage to get Joey, I think, as Joey is knocked. We're back to a stalemate. Remix doing everything he can to just stay alive. YKG up with 2.
I think this is SLR's game to win. They have the cover. They have,
Yeah,
they
they
have
should.
the position. I mean, they just have to get aggressive. They cannot go back to their roots, and they cannot be passive. They got to apply the pressure to YKG, and they cannot let them approach this hill at all.
Yeah. Oh, Fierce getting the revive onto Joey.
Can't let him get to this hill.
Oh,
there
no.
you go. Great shots. And that was actually from Remix of all people. So Remix doing a great job of helping SLR out here.
Oh, Remix finally goes down.
Okay, now
it's-
push.
Yep. SLR, 3v2. Joey gets up. Still winnable for YKG.
I mean, it's not easy, though. Oh, was that a Band-Aid? I think it was. Yep, it bounced off the truck. It
Oh.
bounced off the truck and hit Joey. Rough.
Oh, that one hit, though.
Those smokes, though. Those smokes completely eliminated their own sight lines. That is so tough. And now the tides have
Molly?
turned. That Molly's
Oh.
perfect. XTC's going down.
He's burning.
Oh,
he
XTC
gets
hit
an
a
8
nade.
off.
Oh, he's
And
barely
XTC
alive.
stays up. It's all down to
Ball
Joey.
goes
Joey gets
down.
it. 1v1. They're both
Oh.
1 HP jukes. No first aid for Joey. And oh, he went
He
for the
jumped
thirst. He
up.
went for the thirst. And XTC
Wow.
will pop up and take the winner chicken dinner. I just have to say, I feel like YKG in their prime, Joey does not go for that thirst.
Oh, I can't believe you went for it. I can't believe you went for it. That
Yeah.
is insane. Honestly, though, I will say, I think Super Lazy Reflex deserved that win. They really did. I think they played that one so well from start to finish. So a great dub for them. Little bit scary towards the end. And I think that showed their weakness, right? It's those end game fights, that decision making, how they decide to rotate their smoke placement. If they could dial that in, they're going to be a deadly squad. Because I'll tell you what, this squad, they are starting to really show up right when it counts. And I'll tell you what, if they continue this, Zute, this is a squad we could see really pop off in the finals.
Oh yeah, SLR, they have the brains. All the decisions they're making, the timing, like knowing when to push, everything is so good. It's just execution, right?
Yeah.
And I think with more practice, with more time, that execution is going to go up. Like, and Hyper is starting to execute everything correctly now, but they've always known when to do things. So yeah, can't wait to see how much further this SLR team is going to go. So don't go anywhere, guys. We're going to be right back after some quick highlights.
All right, Cam, before we talk about SLR getting that win, and before we show the match ranking, just look at me and let me know who am I, okay?
YKG.
That's right. That's right. Fears. If it wouldn't have been for that,
Fears,
I
okay.
felt like this team would have been able to win that, considering that he got one knock with an 8. That first snake would definitely hit too. Oh, man, it was just so close. But SLR being able to close it up and being able to back it up with a lot of elims as well. If we can pull up the match ranking so we can see how many elims they ended up getting. I think it was 14, if I'm not mistaken. 16, actually. 16.
Yeah.
26 points total.
Yeah, really good for SLR, but this was such a wild end game in general. So many things were happening in that just field of death. The whole game ended down in a bowl, and every single team knew that they couldn't just wait. And, you know, generally you see teams be like, I'm just going to be the last to move. But, like, you saw Extreme Slayers try to send it, Kubi from Butterfly Effect staying alive, getting a couple of eliminations at the end. And then just, like, everyone pushing in towards the end game to that final fight between SLR and YKG. It's just... these teams are finally showing up. It's so good to see. The first 2 days of this week were very disappointing. We had it yesterday. We're continuing to have it today. I love PMPL. I love PMPL. It's so exciting.
I do, and I love when we get to phase 3 because some of the teams, like you mentioned, some of the teams that we didn't expect to show up start showing up in a big way because they want to make it to those finals. You were mentioning too, Butterfly Effect being able to get those 6 elims, being able to get 10 points total, Kubi being able to get those knocks and actually confirming on some. And then from the other side, one that we're going to be able to mention here in a bit, and a Hyper, 3 points, and that's because they got absolutely destroyed by the one, the only Remix from Extreme Slayers.
Yeah, just, I mean, 3 points isn't like that bad. It's bad in terms of Ben Hyper because they usually get a lot more, but at least they're getting something, right? But like, it's the fact that they got, oh man, we didn't see how that fight started, but Remix got all 4 of those eliminations.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to call it Remix 1v4 and Hyper. That's so wild. I mean, like, Remix is back. Like, YKG is back. Remix is back. This is such a wild finish to this phase, this week, this whole season.
Yeah, Remix definitely. We're like, you know what? We're going to Miramar. Let me get some of that Monster Energy, our official energy drink partner. And Hyper. Oh, you want some in Hyper? Bring it, baby. I'm ready. And we actually got a chance to sit down and talk to Remix from Extreme Slayers. And I think I remember right. I gotta ask him, what would it feel like to get MVP? And you know what? Before I even tell you what he answered, why don't we actually take a look at that interview? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the PMPL North America. My name is the Seven Worlds Gaming alongside Remix from Extreme Slayers. I feel like they have been the biggest surprise out of this tournament for a lot of people, including myself, especially when talking about players. This man right here is definitely one of those surprises. Remix, how are you doing today?
I'm fine. I'm great.
Ooh, okay. Love to hear that. Now, as I was mentioning, you have been one of the biggest surprises. What do you think has been the biggest change for your team from spring split all the way to full split?
Pues yo diría que el cambio también de roster ayudaría mucho. La nueva adquisición, como sería yo, en el caso también de Freddy, que somos los nuevos jugadores del roster. Ya también la sinergia, cómo nos llevamos dentro y fuera del juego, tener una buena compañía, ¿me entiendes? Y llevarnos bien siempre de todo, y pues yo creo que eso es lo que más nos ha ayudado en este caso.
All right, well, you're talking about roster changes. You're talking about the new additions, including yourself and Freddy. Well, let's refresh everybody's memory in regards to what is everybody's role within your team.
Pues Freddy y yo seríamos los fraggers del equipo. Robert sería el IGL, que es una nueva sorpresa, con Hayu, que se apoyan. Hayu sería el support, el scout, y de ahí en adelante entre todos nos ayudamos.
Right on. As being one of the new players for Extreme Slayers, how has this synergy been for you guys, especially with the gameplay and the in-game callouts and all of that?
Pues me siento muy agradecido, ya que fui parte del roster. Ellos me buscaron para ser parte del roster. Lo que ha cambiado mucho es sobre la agresividad del roster. Somos más agresivos, tenemos muchos jugadores, todos somos fraggers, todos sabemos usar las armas, when gun skill, and that's good. I think so. That's the great point on the teammate.
Okay, I teased. In that one, he didn't really get to answer the question in regards to the MVP, but if we do get time, maybe tomorrow, we'll get a chance to see that one, okay? Because right now, I mean...
It's a cliffhanger.
Yeah, out of anybody, I feel like that's my MVP for the day so far.
Ooh. For the day?
Yeah.
Probably.
So far, up to this point.
Yeah, there are a lot of names in that mix. I mean, I want to say GK First has still been doing good.
He has.
Cloudy's had some good pop-off rounds. Like, yeah, I think this is very close. I think it's going to be as close as it was yesterday.
Kubi just had a good round, too. I mean, I'm liking, too, that it's just not N-Hyper, at least for today, right? It's not just Kindness.
Yeah.
It's not just GK First. Now we're throwing in some people in the mix, too. Remix, we're throwing in, Kubi, too. If I can think, maybe somebody from SLR, too. They just had a good performance here as well. But, I mean, we are going to be going into Sandhawk, right? It is going to be madness. N-Hyper's going to be sitting out. So I don't think, maybe today we don't end up seeing an N-Hyper MVP.
Yeah, at this rate.
Do you think it will be Remix? I'm hoping it's Remix.
Actually, yeah, I've been thinking about it for the past 30 seconds, and yeah, Remix I think is probably my #1 choice right now. So let's see if they can deliver on Sandhawk. Sandhawk is a fickle mistress. Like, you never really know what you're gonna get with that map. You gotta just deal with what comes your way. I mean, that's just Battle Royale in general. It's PUBG Mobile in general, but specifically on Sandhawk. So it's gonna be the moment to try and fortify that daily MVP.
So, something we will probably not be seeing, even though it's Sandhawk, is going to be the fight for 20th place between Skills of Mine and Speedfire, because they just keep fighting at the beginning of the match every single time. Which, okay, you know what? Do your thing. If you guys want to fight for that 20th place, do your thing. But two teams that I actually want to see finish off the day in a big way, it has to be Butterfly Effect. I feel like they have had such a great day. And BULUC CHABTAN, they started off the day really hot, right? Then they slow down before their break. Now they got the break coming into Sandhawk. I feel like this is one team that Sandhawk might not favor them, considering how they got those chicken dinners earlier in the day.
Yeah, and K19 have started to pick up some points. They got 5 the previous round, which I know isn't a lot when you compare them to what Butterfly and BULUC have been able to do on their own individual hot streaks. But let's hope that BULUC didn't slow down and that momentum is carrying beyond that one game break that they had.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think here which fight we saw yesterday when it was some Paradise Resort. If I remember right, I think it was Canadian Eagles and Butterfly Effect. I wonder if Butterfly Effect is actually going to be going for the hot drop again. They won it yesterday. They got some good points out of it.
Yeah, it's a way to guarantee at least some combat in Sandhawk that rather than just stumbling over a body in the long grass.
All right. Well, you know what? I love me. I love me the hot drops. And Butterfly Effect, please don't hot drop, okay? Don't hot drop. Hot Jukes, Sute, tell him. Actually, Hot Jukes is going to disagree with me. What am I talking about?
No hot drops? What? Come on! I thought Seven always wanted hot drops. He's always the one looking for the action, the drama, everything. But we'll see. We'll see if that hot drop comes through. As playing very, very far south this time around, making it a little bit hard to stretch to that Paradise Resort hot drop that we see time and time and again.
Let's go. All right, yeah, it is going to be pretty hard, but I mean, Sandhawk, for the most part, I think you can pretty much land almost anywhere you want to if you just stretch it right. So let's see where everyone's going to go, baby, because it's the final match of the day. Well, you know, and Hyper sitting out long, just putting crazy damage on the board. I mean, this is crazy. I wonder who's going to be that MVP, because we're starting to see so much ridiculousness right now. I mean, we're seeing Butterfly Effect, right? Cloudy going nuts.
Yes.
We're seeing Remix pop off, going nuts. We're seeing Long from SLR pop off. I mean, this is craziness. So, I mean, I don't know who's going to win this match. SLR is landing dead center in boot camp. No one's touching them right now, and they're starting to heat up. I'll tell you what, SLR is starting to make my hand shake a little bit, because when these are the kind of PASSIONFRUIT gets a zone. Hold on, forget everything. They get the dream circle. This is their zone. Okay, PASSIONFRUIT, come on, get it going.
If it stays on that Northwest Island, I mean, that's that looks like one of those circles that could go any way. But yeah, that's the closest to them getting the first circle on that Northwestern Island all tournament long. So we'll see what happens as Jiwoon in a 1v1 situation here against Aleem. For one, the toes, the butt, something
toes!
stuck out, and he goes down. Jiwoon will get that one, but the cover fire trying to prevent the thirst. It's a little bit too late.
Oh boy. All right, so this is how we're gonna start it off. Okay, Aleem going down. That's gotta hurt, man. And meanwhile, you can see the pain in Gunpain's eyes right now, trying to get that revenge out of Jiwoon. He's in that lay down, looking for the angles. Throws the nade. Ooh, overcooked. How about another?
A little bit.
That put Jiwoon on alert, though. Butterfly Effect gone! What? What?
Who?
Cloudy,
Canadian
how could you
Eagles.
let this happen?
Oh, it was the hot drop.
It
Right?
was the hot drop.
Yeah.
Oh, we missed it. You know what? You hate to see it, but it is just like that in a flash. Butterfly Effect is gone. Wow.
Flash in the pan.
Flash in the bed. Well, there goes Cloudy's chances at trading MVP for the day. You know? Pretty crazy to watch. Pretty crazy to watch. Well, Canadian Eagles with 4, so they get the better of them this time. I mean, at
That's
what
fast.
point do you not learn? That's crazy.
Yeah, that was fast. Usually that Paradise fight drags out a whole lot longer. And what a name.
Oh, what a shot. I mean, crazy. 3-point just, what? Wow.
Here
He
comes
just
the
jumped
flank.
down.
The flank onto the high ground. 4-1-2 and Wall Street bets. This is a back and forth fight right now, but it looks like Free Point, or not Free Point, yeah, getting taken out. It is all down to Free Point now.
Wow.
4-1-2 Nomads. Today has not really been their
A little
day,
funky.
I'd say.
Yeah, been a little funky today, for sure.
And one off day, that's fine. They've been doing well for, what, 3-4 days in a row? So, good
I'll
improvement
think-
still.
I will take today as them making adjustments day. I think they've done so well that they're good enough. You know, they know where they're going to land, right? And they know that they're going to go to the finals. Okay. So I think today is a day where they're like, all right, hey, let's try this out, try those things out. And just today, it just didn't work. So I don't know. I want to see them really pop off on the last day. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
Patone.
MEZEXIS, this is a tale as old as time, right? With SLR pushing up onto this hill immediately after. I'm surprised they even got this close, to be honest. Usually you have players dead looking down the hill, but SLR was able to make it up this hill. So now they having a CQC fight with MEZEXIS. Let's see who's going to hit this first nade.
It's coming back and forth. SLR has been forced to run back, and I think with those audio cues, yeah, MEZEXIS knows they all fell back. So SLR not being able to get up that hill in time. Usually we see them, like you mentioned, getting up there as fast as possible. This time, just a little bit too slow. So MEZEXIS is going to take that hill away. But still, the circle could go onto the main island. Maybe. There's a chance. So they might just wait it out and see where the circle goes before making the next big play.
That would be wild. That would be wild. PASSIONFRUIT would scream if that happened. I'll say that. So let's see. For PASSIONFRUIT's sake, hopefully the zone goes to that island. But for everybody else, yeah, that's pretty rough. So let's see exactly what happens here in this next game. As we, on this game right here, as we see Remix throwing the nades out on to Speedfire. Trying to catch him slipping his hand. Speedfire, one of those teams got nothing to lose at this point. Wow, Clown just getting caught out. Here comes Extreme Slayers on the push.
Clown was just standing outside the building next to the doorway. Man, Speedfire just, I don't know. These mistakes that are happening from Speedfire is just, it leaves me very confused. As, yep, they're getting picked apart now. Remix finds the second follow-up. Extreme Slayers do have to be a little bit careful, though, because if they are all running in at different directions, one of them could get knocked and thirsted. There's only 2 up, though. Okay, yeah. Nope, Speedfire can't manage to do the thing here. Extreme Slayers just too good. They made that look so easy.
Wow.
So easy.
Whew. I mean, Speedfire could not buy a defense to save their life at this point. That's so tough, you know? It's so tough to see a team just struggle this much. But you know what? I mean, things happen, right? Things happen, and hopefully we could see them, you know, figure things out here eventually. I mean, it's going to be pretty much done for this tournament, but who knows? Maybe we can see them, you know, either on the same team or even on different squads shine in the future. And we've seen that happen before, right? So we've seen teams that, you know, didn't work well together get split up, and then we see that one player that was on that squad all of a sudden just go nuts on a different one.
Very rare. Very rare to see, though. As Ace of Spades.
But it does happen. Yeah.
I think they saw a vehicle or something. They know somebody's here. Oh, nice nade fake right there. And he goes, pushes in. He gets Thirst at free point. Gets knocked and Thirst.
The map.
Oh, that's a big zone shift, though. YKG with that zone on the west side. That's a huge one. And so many teams have to make this crossover and fight over the bridge now. This is going to get very messy, Jukes.
Oh,
this zone
it is.
Not pretty for anybody besides YKG and even PASSIONFRUIT. Even PASSIONFRUIT might want to think about leaving that mountaintop now.
Well, PASSIONFRUIT, yeah, they're just so upset right now because they want the zone to just lock onto them and just chill, right? But they cannot catch a break. They cannot catch a break. The zone chasing away from them. I mean, this is a situation where you hope for, because every time you land, or if this is that your landing spot, you're hoping to get like a 20 elimination chicken dinner, right?
Yep.
And it doesn't happen all the time, and it hasn't happened a lot this tournament. And the one time it goes there, it goes south. So really unfortunate for them, but the zone could still pop up. We'll see what happens. Extreme Slayer is getting really close to YKG, and Joey is very separated from the rest of the team, and they need to start hauling it towards him right now.
I think Robert is doing that card trick you were talking about, hanging off the cliffside. Maybe we'll see the camera back on him as Joey does get caught. YKG cut off. Yeah, look at Robert. Is that what you're talking about?
Yep.
Where you park the car and hang it off the side and no one knows you. No way.
And you could reverse.
Does he have an angle? Back up. Can he pop out the window and shoot up? Oh, I really want to see this. He's staying in there.
Maybe he heard it yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he heard it yesterday. It was like, that you could do that? You know? And then he's just trying it out now. Let's see. I don't know. This is interesting.
Yeah, he can launch grenades from there. That's for sure. And YKG already fell off, though. I want to see the zone keep ending there and him just like, hey, maybe I can just sit in this car the whole time.
Imagine they jump up. Imagine they jump off the cliff, go down there. He reverses back up, pops out, and starts shooting at him.
Or he could just pop out the window and shoot at them. He doesn't even need to reverse the car at that point.
That's true. That's true.
SLR running into some stray players. Killjoy, just himself. This should be good for SLR.
Stellar! Pow, pow, pow! Oh, never mind. Pow, pow, pow! Pow, 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 pow! Got it. There you go.
How much more pows you need?
Yeah, usually it's just the pow, pow. Remember that? That's throwback, you know. But
XZ gets caught, though.
Ooh, and God. Lotus, right? Always catching themselves in these positions, you know? Like, I think that Lotus is one of those teams that would horrify me if I was playing, because you just never know where they're going to be, you know? They're not a team that takes, like, traditional, like, best spots in the game. You know, you find them in an obscure place in the blue zone, and you're just like, why are you here, you know?
Yeah. That is how it goes sometimes. But also with the way the circles have shifted, there's going to be a lot of fighting like in the blue and
No, for
out
sure.
of zone. It's so hard to get to that northwestern island, especially with the way it just hard shifted twice towards that northwestern side. Ace of Spades dealing with Chronix here. Oh, the 4X a little bit too zoomed in. Switches back to the UMP Iron Sight. Some quick shots and trying to do a fake nade. Oh, now he gets the actual nade out. They're both holding the nades, though. Whose nade is going to hit better? And Chronix will eat it, but Kiddo gets traded instantly.
Beautifully done right there. Great support from the teammates. So, oh boy, right? Things are starting to heat up here as the zone does go south. PASSIONFRUIT refusing to leave the hill. They can't believe it. They're like, are you kidding me? The zone's going to go down here? But hey, you know what? It is what it is. Let's see them make some adjustments and hopefully be able to, take advantage of a zone that's at least somewhat favorable for them.
Yeah, can we get that Extreme Slayers camp? Oh, he got out of the car. Okay.
Wow.
I was hoping he would still be in that car in that spot. But they're putting in work. 6 elimination points right now. Look at Extreme Slayers. They're not just all sitting, at that compound that we saw earlier. They have spread out, taken up so much real estate, and have set up a trifecta of just angles, nabbing all of these elimination points. One of their players does go down, though, so Freddy will be eliminated. Happy Sour trying to do his best. Now Extreme Slayers starting to fall apart. They were getting too greedy, and other teams are chiming in. I think it's actually YKG that, finally chimed in now. Extreme Slayers down to 2.
And let's see here. With Extreme Slayers being down to 2, what can they do? I mean, they're completely stuck, so that is going to be tough. But they are dead center of the zone, so as long as nobody pushes them, they're fine to just hang out for now. And man, it would have been sick to see him still in that vehicle, hanging off.
Yeah, if he was just hanging out there still.
But,
honestly, if the zone ended around there and he just sat in there, I don't think anyone would have checked.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's so scary. You never know those kind of strats. I'm telling you, they do work every now and then. So I'm glad to see it. Nate getting knocked via Nate. That's tough. Poncho, all the faith in the world in him and his team. He told me himself.
Zuko's down too.
Oh, let's see what he could do though. Poncho
gets
does
one.
get gets Dookie.
Oh, 2-3. It's all
Tokyo.
down to one member of K. Juancho through the smoke. Juancho got 3.
He's owning.
I would love to see Juancho teabag his own teammate right there in that situation. It's just like, I told you guys, if you guys ain't going to get it done, I'm going to get it done. That's right.
That's right. That's right.
I'm the
Sometimes you gotta
carry
let
on
him
this
know.
team.
I'm telling you what, Juancho standing tall right here, a giant amongst men.
Yes.
Beautifully done, getting 3 eliminations. And meanwhile, oh, Stellar, yeah, he has those angles all day long. Lotus just being stuck at the blue for so long, trying to make it in, and they're just getting punished because Papa Blue is starting to put in that work, especially once it hits. Oh, but that's Stellar gone. So SLR eliminated. Top 10 remaining. Guerra's running through this place of ruins right now, trying to find a way out and to safety. Meanwhile, Canadian Eagles.
Look at that zone.
All the zone just goes south. Okay. YKG still pretty central here. And Canadian Eagles with a nice hill. They're going to have a lot of sightlines here in this match.
Yeah, this could be Canadian Eagles' game. They still have 4 up. They control pretty much half the circle. Everything to the west side of the road is within their firm control. And every time I see the circle keep shifting here, I just imagine if that one player of Extreme Slayers was still hanging out in that car, how many placement points he might be getting right now.
Well, that is the question, right? How many would they be getting? But you know what? Sometimes you just gotta take what you get, right? Juancho's going to take those 3 eliminations. I'll tell you that right now, with the most so far in this lobby. Rosh seems to say, you know what? I don't need this vehicle. I'll take this boat. And we'll see what can happen. Meanwhile, Chronix, I'll tell you what, Chronix trying to make something happen by himself, but he might get caught. I don't know how bad didn't see him there. That is crazy.
Yeah, he just kept scoping to the right a little bit too much. Playing very, very quiet. He's looking for the one confirmed point rather than taking shots, and that's okay. He could have went for that for sure.
Could have.
There is water in the zone, though, so I think he's planning on just sneaking in and getting into the water and then just sitting in the water for like an extra zone. But fishing is what Chico is going to be doing right here, looking towards the Excuse team. As Chico looks away for a brief second, not sure why. He should be dead set on the water because there's a full team of Excuse looking to swim up here.
And let's see how Chico, you can see him just trying to find those sight lines, trying to figure out where we're going with this one. And YKG with 3 up, still so deadly. They are in the central side of the zone. Always a team you got to keep your eyes on, folks. Let's see what they get going here. As this next zone's about to pop, Zute, where's it going?
Oh, it's going to send it right on to BULUC, CHABTAN and Extreme Slayers. The 2 dead center in the zone. That's what I'm thinking. PASSIONFRUIT, meanwhile, has swung down to the north side. Look at that. They might take a fight with Canadian Eagles and be the ones to take dominant control of this map.
Well, let's see as the zone is about to pop, and well, it's going to center up, most likely. And it does, pretty much. So, okay, all right, YKG still holding central position. Canadian Eagles on that off angle. You also got PASSIONFRUIT, right, trying to win a game. And honestly, them getting this circle somewhat, this could be the chance.
This could be it. I mean, they have control on both sides of the road, but it definitely looks like it's going to be favoring the west side. Excuse, yep, taking that on that last member Wall Street Bets who could have shot earlier but decided not to. And still have a few teams trying to swim ashore right now.
Chico.
Oh, wow, look at that way plays.
So good. Baton, I tell you what, Baton, man, every time I watch this guy, I'm like, this is someone you got to keep an eye out for.
Yeah. One of the top players in this lobby. For sure. For sure.
For sure. Always so consistent.
Top 5, 100%, in my opinion.
If he gets into a fight, I don't think it's very rarely you see him lose a 1v1, right?
Yeah, I don't think we have.
I mean, literally. I mean, the way he gets caught is if it's in a 1v3 situation or if he just gets, off-angled completely.
Yeah.
Look at that. Oh, they're just going fishing. Chronix, last one up. Of course it's Chronix. I'll tell you what, man. This guy survives no matter what.
Oh, PASSIONFRUIT.
Uh-oh.
They caught
Quinn. Oh, but Drago catches Valak. 42 seconds on the clock. This is a perfect amount of time. They should be able to get a res off. Never mind. Canadian Eagles with these angles are just too good.
Oh, he needed to hit those. Juancho needed to hit those.
He ran out of ammo, though. He ran out of ammo.
Oh, he ran out because he didn't hit those.
He should have hit those. Juancho, what are you doing, my friend?
Juancho, he's still trying to hit those, but he doesn't. And, oh, man. This could have been PASSIONFRUIT's game for sure. But Canadian Eagles, they hold it down. They take that defense, and now there's a good chance that they're going to win this match. Baton loses the 1v1 question mark. I don't know if you want to call that the 1v1. Loses at a bad angle, but it is Chronix.
It is Chronix.
So who
Chronix
else
is
to take down? Yeah, Baton other than Chronix. Put Chronix and Baton on a team. And then the other two, I'm not sure yet. But, man, that'd be deadly.
That would be a deadly squad. Meanwhile, let's see here. It's Rise. I think, did he spot him? Maybe not. Meanwhile, who would see who's got the most elimination? Cameron Davis.
Man.
Pushing Canadian Eagles. And rest of us have picked PASSIONFRUIT. Well, PASSIONFRUIT's gone. This is interesting. This is interesting.
YKG still has 3 up. If they get the next zone,
come on, Extreme Slayers! Go on, Extreme Slayers! Right?
Yeah, we don't want Cameron Davis to get the dub here, but we'll see what happens. I mean, Canadian Eagles should definitely get the dub and the most eliminations for sure. Chronix still alive. He still has smokes too. If Chronix could somehow make it in this zone against YKG looking dead at him, man, Chronix is the GOAT. Oh, look at those shots. He is piecing up Canadian Eagles. He gets the thirst on Canadian Eagles from all the way out here.
No way. He's going to go ahead. And that was a nice pre-first aid. He knew that the timing was going to hurt.
Oh,
he does the pre-fire. Ridiculous.
I thought he was going to.
And he found the smoke. And he hits
those.
him. No way. No way. This is not going to work. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Oh, he tried. He tried, though. That was still, it's always impressive. I mean, I'm telling you, this guy's ridiculous.
That's a highlight reel, in my opinion. Even though he didn't make it in, him getting the Canadian Eagles player from that distance when he has 3 YKG to worry about in front of him and the blue zone and his smokes running out, he's still able to pick up a point and hit that free fire. Man, Chronix is a beast of a player.
Dude, just a monster. An absolute monster. Especially like that was through the smoke too, you know?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, absolute craziness. So let's see where this all ends up going here as Drago gets a shot that takes out Dog. So Canadian Eagles just dominating with this high ground. That's 9 eliminations, and they're going to keep racking them up unless YKG can shut them down.
Yeah. YKG looking to shut them down now. YKG knows this is the winning play. Nades in hand already. Is Canadian Eagles ready for this?
Oof.
First nade doesn't connect.
That's tough. Here they come. Sneaking. Uh-oh. Tons of nades on there.
Oh, that one hit. That one hit Canadian Eagles real hard. Quinn was in the process of first aiding already, so instantly back up to 80 health. Oh, there's that opening.
That's huge. Baby Tang getting knocked is going to hurt. 24K. Throwing another one. Did he get the sight lines? He's trying to get the thirst, so the other teams need to be careful. Canadian Eagles need to watch out for... Right now it's Quinn on this off angle. Here comes Chico on the off angle with the DBS. It's good. So it looks like YKG is going to shut down the Canadian Eagle reign. So they got a ton of eliminations in the process, though. So we'll see if they do end up with the most. It's looking like that's what's going to happen because everyone else is getting taken out.
1v2.
Slayers. 1v2.
Baby Bray with the 1v2.
Got him. 8 eliminations total. Insane.
If Baby Ray could somehow catch 2, nope, he doesn't.
He doesn't.
So, Canadian Eagles will have the most eliminations, but YKG finally the chicken dinner dub. Great game out of so many teams. Canadian Eagles, Extreme Slayers, even Excuse coming into that late game with Chronix. Man, I think every team who made it to the late game really stepped it up. Passion Fruits could have had so much more, though, Jukes. I'm looking at the points. Passion Fruits only managed 6, but they could have, in my opinion, won the game.
Classic Passion Fruit. Meanwhile, YKG, 7 eliminations. This is the YKG we've been missing, you know. Putting some points on the board, giving some, you know, hope in our hearts for them to clutch it up in the finals, because if they want to make it to the PMGC League stage, Zute, they're going to have to do it the hard way.
Yep. The hard way is going to be extremely tough, but hey, at least they're starting to look good and prep for it. Who knows? They might make it. They might keep improving all the way through. It's a tough task. It's a tough ask, but only time will tell, Jukes.
That's right. Only time will tell. Baby Prey with the most eliminations there with 4. Chico with the most damage, 723 total. What a day. What a day, right? We've seen teams here right at the end start popping off. Squads.
Yeah, so it's a great day for that.
Yeah. Mid-pack teams doing well. Teams at the bottom clutching it up. Tomorrow, guys, is going to be a nail-biter to see who is going to make it in to the finals. So, guys, thank you all so much. That's me, myself, and Zute. We're going to go ahead and take it to the desk for them to wrap things up.
All right, Cam, we're practicing. Give me a Y.
Wait, I know we're working out. We got Y, K, G.
G.
We're working through this.
Yeah.
We're working through this.
I think my camera's like mirror too, so it's gonna be like super weird. But nonetheless, YKG being able to come off with the win right there. Let's take a look at the match rankings, because there was some other teams that were able to get some points. Stream Slayers, I'm telling you, I think they're back. They're definitely back.
They might be
to
back.
go along with Remix.
I mean, with Canadian Eagles as well showing up and getting a good number of points, They were one of the teams that we sort of like hyped up for a little bit, and then they just kind of fell off. But 13 points is a really good grab, especially with, I have to say this, from the very beginning on Sanhok, Hot Jukes was calling out PASSIONFRUIT for dropping on the Northwest Island, and it never went there. The circle finally goes that direction, and they only get 6 elimination points. They had an opportunity to really take over this game, but they lose the fight to Canadian Eagles, the Edge Lords themselves. And just, oh man, I feel like this is like the one that really was the one that got away from PASSIONFRUIT.
Yeah, 6 elements for them. You know what? They're still continuing on their trend where elimination points is their main key. They're not hitting those 13 limits that we wanted to see out of them per match. But you know what? We'll take 6 for now. Let's look at that second page because this is actually where I wanted to look at. By the way, BULUC CHABTAN being able to get those points. K19 and Butterfly Effect with those 0 points. This is kind of what Hot Jukes was alluding to. Tomorrow is going to be a nail biter because BULUC CHABTAN, I mean, at the beginning of the day with those back-to-back chicken dinners, here at the end of the day, being able to get some points, and K19 just continuing to struggle. Butterfly Effect, they did have a great day, but also finishing out with the 0. It's going to be really close.
It is. It's going to be really, really close. In fact, I can't wait till we get a chance to see what the overall looks like, just to see how close it's going to be. We're going to be doing all this math on the fly tomorrow. Every single elimination, every single placement point between BULUC, Butterfly, K19, and maybe even Excuse, depending on how exactly close it is in that bit of a bubble there. But
Wow.
it's going to go down to the wire. I'll be honest, everywhere else, I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of all set in stone. Like, it's going to be some teams fighting over, like, oh, do we end second or third? Do we get, like, do we get the first, like, 2, like, what is it, 6 placement points? Or, I mean, bonus points or only 5? Like, that's kind of just, like, whatever, right? For me, it's about who's going to qualify because that's where, like, the hearts are going to be broken.
Yeah, which team is going to be going to the finals? By the way, I'm glad that you mentioned math, and I'm glad that you're going to be here with me because your math has been pretty spot on lately. So, yes, I'm glad.
I've been doing this for a while.
My dad's an accountant, all right? He will be flaming me. Luckily for me, he doesn't speak English, so hi, Dad. Nonetheless, pull up the overall. We're talking about the overall, so let's see that thing. Let's see. No surprise, and Hyper's going to be there at the top. Stream Slayers, hey, being able to take back that second place from 412 Nomads. We didn't really get a chance to see much out of 412 Nomads today, but SLR, too. Surprised there in 4th place.
Yeah, honestly, like, Nomads did have a little bit of an underwhelming day considering some of their previously good performances, but also Extreme Slayers a really strong day. This is looking like week 1 Extreme Slayers looking really, really good. But YKG is up here in the single digits. I mean, they've overtaken Execute. MEZEXIS are still hanging on. SLR up there in 4th place. I mean, this is okay. This is starting to look really, again, they are fighting for something here. It is the bonus points that can matter. Like 1 or 2 bonus points really could make or break their ending position come the grand finals. But let's go down to the second half of this. Let's go look at where I really care about. Where are Excuse? Where are Butterfly? Where are K19?
And this is what's going to be interesting. And by the way, it doesn't reflect, right? Because this team, this is not even the actual leaderboard. We're going to be showing it tomorrow at the beginning of the day. But it kind of gives us an idea of how they still be able to perform. Butterfly Effect, BULUC CHABTAN, look at them. They're currently at 10th and 11th. And guess what? K19, nowhere to be seen.
Nowhere to be seen. And Excuse is, what, like 15 points below Butterfly Effect as well. Like, they are now in the mix as well. It is 4 teams fighting over 2 spots when it comes to the qualifying, like the season overall here. Let's go down. How far behind are K19 though? How bad was their day? Because remember, they only had 2 points after the first 2 rounds. They've made 5 points today. Wait, that can't be true. Where did they start?
They started off with, they got 7 points. They got 7 points.
Okay.
K19.
Okay.
That's
but still, that's not great.
That's
7 points
awful.
in 4 games. That's still pretty bad.
That's absolutely awful, K19, considering that before we even started paying attention to that 16th place, we're like, okay, K19 has a healthy gap, right? None of these teams. Butterfly Effect, BULUC CHABTAN, yeah, you guys have gotten your moments to shine here and there in the earlier phases, but we don't really see you being able to make that big push. Boy, were we wrong. Was I wrong? Because those teams have definitely made that push. But you know what? Something that I don't think I'm going to be wrong, hopefully, cross my fingers, it's the MVP for today, which I'll be shocked if it's not remix. Okay,
It's got to be remixed. It has to be remixed. I can't imagine anyone else.
If it's somebody from N-Hyper,
there's no way. Like, I know it wasn't a bad day for them, but if it is still someone from N-Hyper, they have really skewed our our expectations for them.
Yeah.
Because like we're not even considering them. Like so, it has to be Remix.
Who is it?
Come on.
Show
Show
me. Show me a remix. Please show me a remix. I don't want to have nightmares tonight. Yes.
Woo!
That's what I'm
For
talking about.
half a second before it showed, my heart skipped a beat. I'm like, oh god, what if we're so wrong? But yes, it is Remix. He had such a good day. Him and his entire team had such a good day today.
Oh, by the way, is that right? Okay. Streaming Slayers, Baby Bray actually ended up in second place with 12 LMs. So that's good to see. Okay, it's good to see that it's not just Remix, right? I especially been giving him a lot of praise. It's good to see that Baby Bray has also been able to step it up, and this is what we were asking for this team. Not just Remix, somebody that's able to back him up. And if that's Baby Bray, if that's going to be the role for him, especially going into tomorrow and then going into the finals, Stream Slayers might actually have a great chance of making that top 5 and end up going to Americas.
Yeah, reminder everyone, earlier this week was looking pretty bad. It was looking like N-Hypers is going to roll over everyone, and you never knew how anyone else was going to perform. But the last 2 days have been really, really exciting. We've seen some really good teams rise back up to where we expected them to be to begin with. I really do wonder if that whole week off sort of reset everyone and needed them more time to warm back up. But hey, as long as they're here now and we're setting ourselves up for a great final day tomorrow.
Yeah, you would think they would actually improve, you know, but N-Hyper's just different, okay? N-Hyper's is absolutely different. Let us know on social media, though. Make sure you use that hashtag PMPL North America, PMPL NA, on who is going to be taking the top 16 tomorrow. Is it going to be Butterfly Effect? Are they going to be making it? Is it going to be K19? Are they going to be stepping it up? Because K19 needs to... K19, please. Drink Monster Energy, our official energy drink partner. You need it, and you need it bad. You need it tomorrow at the start of the day. I know you guys sit out the first match, but please drink that Monster Energy, because if this team does not start off hot, I don't see a single chance of them making it within the top 16.
Yeah. My guess is going to be 15th place is Butterfly, 16th, Excuse.
16 Excuse?
I think they're going to barely hang on. I think they're just going to have like 3 points ahead of BULUC CHABTAN.
No BULUC CHABTAN?
That's just what my gut is telling me. BULUC 17th, K19 18th.
Okay. Usually I will follow your prediction game, but I've been hearing that your prediction game is a little bit...
All right, okay, calm down.
I'm hearing that you might have a punishment tomorrow, so make sure you guys tune in tomorrow for the show as well. Right. Nonetheless, that is going to be the end of today. Shout out to our casters, Hot Juice Tute. Shout out to this amazing man right here with that amazing shirt. He didn't take the compliment earlier, but that shirt looks great on you. And as always, my name is the Seven Worlds Gaming. It's been a pleasure here with you guys, and I can't wait. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. Top 16 are going to be decided, and then we go on to the finals, baby. See y'all tomorrow.
grenade, but Bane comes in.
He does it!